Ну що, вітаю, шановні, на цьому чудовому івенті. Не знаю, чи ви дивилися топ-32, я частково дивився. Там таке творилося, то страшне.
Everyone's talking about it. In one power steering failure, you're out watching your brother go for that championship. It was an emotional time for Conor Shannon. It was an emotional time for all of us watching. But his brother Jack is still in the championship. The Shannon team have rallied. They've come back at it again. And Viansek, you can see him smiling nervously.
Показують, як Шанахан бісився через те, що провтикав.
The favored run of the green now in the championship order. It's going to be a fight. It's the fight of their lives, Becky.
It is the fight of their lives, and you know what? It is not over until those two lads meet in the final. I mean, obviously, if Peter goes out before the top four, then it's going to go to Jack. But if Jack goes out before then, it could go to Peter, or they can meet in the final.
Напишіть, чи ви мене чуєте, бачите, чи все добре.
I'm shaking. It just gets so excited when we're out here. Let's take a look at this top 16 grid. Walk me through it.
Yeah, well, look, there's a lot of battles here, and the big story is a lot of names you wouldn't expect in it because of that crazy top 32. But I like it because a lot of guys who had no luck all year.
Шанахан не один, Шанахан вже все.
However, everybody's watching Viansek and
Так, що там у нас є?
That's the championship. Whether it's 16, 8, 4 or the final, we of course selfishly would love to go to the final.
Та що таке, не можу себе перетягнути.
80% of this arena is Polish, 20% is probably at this stage Irish and mixed. It's going to be some atmosphere when them boys come out on track.
100%, Dave. Well, let's get back into the action with our top 16. You need to go and run to that tower.
Так, а трансляцію на фоні чуєте?
Guys, I'm going to throw it up to Ian Waddington. This is going to be a huge, huge night. Buckle in because you're not going to want to miss this. Ian, what do you think?
Thanks, Becky. What do I think? I think I don't have a clue what we're about to see in the next few hours here at the Drift Masters European Championship final in Waszyn, Poland. Because if top 32 is anything to go for, top 16 is going to be spectacular. As you can see, the grandstand packed, the lights on the camera phones out.
Так, з наших лишився тільки Макс Міллер. В Треша поламалася машина. Ророговський програв В'янцику, а хто там ще? А Головня вдарився в стіну.
To the top 16 with the two top 32 contenders they had to get through. But as Dave and Becky spoke about, mechanical failures, crashes, everything played a big hand in that top 32, and this gave us an unpredictable top 16 with names now that could shine a light on the rest of this season and shine a light on the season they're going to be looking forward to in 2023. I'm ready to go. The atmosphere here is ready to go. The excitement levels are through the roof. The anticipation of who will be crowned the 2022 Drift Masters European Champion. Well, we're not got long to find out who that'll be. It's almost time to get top 16 underway. Well, here we go. Cars warming up on track and two names.
Здоров.
Yesterday we didn't even think would make it out for qualifying, and one who had a little spill in practice earlier on this morning. David Karkoshik warms up the tyres on the back of that incredible S15, and Felix Limval.
Ну, та, спустило колесо, біда. Але, ну, хлопці, зато в них все чітко по таймінгу. Бо буває таке, що дуже сильно затягуються змагання, і ну, з одної сторони це погано для пілотів, але з точки зору медійки і заробляння грошей це чудово, тому що можна спланувати час, і я сподіваюся, що колись то може будуть транслювати по телебаченню як чемпіонат з футболу, тому що там є чіткий таймінг, і якщо тут теж зробити чіткий таймінг, то цей вид спорту може бути дуже популярним. Так, ну що? Каркошик чудом пройшов топ-16 Джеймса Діна. Чувак кваліфікнувся на останнє місце. Окей, Ліндвал лідує, Каркошик доганяє.
to get a spot in that grey 8. And here we go. They get the thumbs up all around. The cars get checked by our start line Marshall Martin. The cars slotting together. They get told to look for the green light to go. And already Karkoshik starts to creep. He's hungry for this one. He wants
Так,
to move forward,
погнали.
to get in further into the
Ліндвелл
competition.
фліп, поставився в великий кут по траєкторії, збирає стіну 2 рази в стіну, вирівнюється і то кінець. Ого, ого, колесо щось дригається. Ну, що я можу сказати? Везе сьогодні Каркошику. Чувак тупо низ чемпіонату, там ледве проходив квалу. І тут в топ-8. То мощно.
That is Karkoshik into the top 8 for me.
It certainly is Karkoshik into the top 8. We know from previous experiences that he cannot move forward in competition. You can see Felix Lindvall not even stopping in that tunnel. That tunnel where the guys are stopping to have the sensors removed from our telemetry and to have a word with their spotters. He's not stopping. He's dejected. He's upset. He knows he failed.
And look, a big thing is a lot of those guys in the pre-grid, the other drivers in this top 16, are watching these cars come in, car after car destroyed, rear ends destroyed, front ends destroyed, hopes and dreams destroyed. I think he got into the wall there, he just about got away with the front of it. I think a minor damage, but I'll tell you one thing, Karkoshik knew before Lindvall...
Не знаю, що тут додати. Ну, вдав стіну. Shit happens. Та як фіксити нічого не можна, Каркошик далі. Я не знаю, що ми чекаємо.
Once you start tagging heavy on the wall, you start getting sucked in. And watch the rear end. It's the first hit for me. I think that damages the car. He tries to steer out of it. He tries to get out of it. He can't get out of it. And all of a sudden he realizes, oh. And you can see that is the board, but also the edge of the wheel go flying off into the air. And Lindvall, he'll be devastated with that. Didn't get through the first corner. And he's been on rails all weekend, but the occasion can get to people here, Ian. I mean, it's 10,000 people. It's hundreds of thousands of people watching online. There's a lot of pressure on these youngsters and, you know, seasoned pros alike to perform at the highest level. And this is as high as it's ever been.
It certainly is as high as it's ever been. And you know what? I don't blame them for having the pressure.
Страшний таймер. Цілих 1,5 години є, якщо в тебе щось пішло не так. Так, YouTube, мені треба трекати, що ви там пишете.
Safe to run, maybe not. We haven't seen anyone else enter the course at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Lindvall did hit the front of the car off the wall, did it hit an oil cooler, power steering pipe, something like that.
Ну що, Каркошику скажуть їхати. Байран. Чи ні? О, тут дивіться, блоки якісь легкі, чувак піднімає рукою. Я думав, що бетон. А то щось не бетон.
Relaxed, smiling. He knows Lindvall's out. At this point, he knows he's got to just go across the start initiation straight. He's going to go to the top 8. And after a disastrous season in many regards for Karkoshik, he's going to have the strongest finish in front of his home fans. Incredible. I'll tell you what, while we have the track lead going on, I want to talk to some of the drivers, see how they're feeling.
Якщо Каркошик виграє той етап, то я не знаю, що. Я поголюсь на лес.
Absolutely, Dave. It was a tough one in Riga for Dwayne. Suffering catastrophic engine failure off the back of a second place in Sweden, and now you're back. It's Poland. You've got all your fans behind you. You're feeling good. You've got Max Miller next. What are you thinking?
О, цей чувак з Міллером буде їхати. Двейн Маквівер, Ірландія. Трохи схожий на Міллера. Не знаю, яке в нього там положення в чемпіонаті. Ну то, здається, не чувак з топ-10.
Now I watched lost your last battle and you were on a 10-0 and we were like, okay, Dwayne, all you need to do is just do a nice, safe chase.
Тарас, а там так і є. Там є 1,5 хвилини, якщо в те щось там висить. Прям маршали скотчем заклеюють тобі там. Бампер можуть причепити, чи ще щось таке. Ой, боже, та ірландська англійська, то смерть.
You have a battle up next with Max Miller. Now he's been driving incredible this weekend. Can you believe some of the names, obviously, with some of the big names dropped out now. We're seeing Diogo Correa, we're seeing Max Miller. It is incredible to see these guys really matching up to the best of the best.
Каже, що ти думаєш про те, що повипадали топові пілоти? Каже, totally incredible. От цей от. Джеймса Діна зараз є шанс на тумбу в сезоні. Бо до того не було.
And a message to your fans out there. I mean, the stands are going absolutely crazy. You've got all the boys from the north. What would you like to say?
Just thanks to everyone that's traveled here, especially the Irish guys that traveled the whole way from Ireland to be here. Like, it's just, it makes you drive that extra 10%, but if you see them all cheering, it's just an incredible buzz.
Well, good luck for your next battle, Dwayne. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yes, there we go. It does look like our track cleanup is finished, and we are seeing David Karkoshik just having a little spin around the track just to make sure that grip level is still there, and he's going to get the opportunity to warm his tyres. It will be a fire run, so as the formality has been for the rest of this event, he will have to initiate and drift that first corner, and then he can shut it down and make his way to get the result, which will be Karkoshik into the Grade 8. Felix Lindvall got to feel a little bit heartbreak for him though, Dave.
Поправили бетон. Давай, Каркошик, поїхали. Чесно кажучи, я зазвичай в такій годині вже збираюся спати, а тут ще треба якусь трансляцію вести. Зараз вирубаюся. І трансляція буде до ранку, де я сплю на столі. Каркошик, ти тільки сам от в одиночку зараз в стіну не заїдь. Але дивіться, повключали там якийсь кольоровий дим. Щось чуваки на цьому треку проїжджають тільки одну дугу, мінімалку. Мало хто їде всю конфігурацію, тому що трек дуже всратий і розвалити машину дуже просто. Враження, що той трек збудований, щоб бити машину. Поляки вболівають там прям. Славік Чабанс, привіт. Здоров.
Getting around, getting a trophy. There is none of that here. You've got to be exceptional. And next up, we've got two men that believe that they are the next big thing in Laurie Heinen and in Jakob Kroll, and both will go to the top 8, which will be their highest finish of the year if they win. And this is what you want to see, guys stepping up when it counts. And I think because these guys have less stress on their shoulders, they don't have a championship to worry about, they're not expected to do this well, they take a lot of that pressure off and perform better in these situations. And that's going to play into the mind of Jack Shanahan, it's going to play into the mind of Peter Viancek. With an expectation on their shoulders comes all of that stress. Everybody all week saying, are you going to win it? Are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do if you win? There's no conversations with Jakob Kroll or Laurie Heinen about that. They're going out there to put a show on and surprise the world. And that's what we're about to see next.
Certainly, and that is right. Well, you know, we spoke about this before, and we've spoke to James Dean, and he says the expectation of me winning events, winning championships is so much now that every time he steps into the car, he feels he has to achieve, and that sometimes outweighs your performance. And he says, you know, that in the back of your mind is more than even making it round the track. So there we go.
Absolutely, and Laurie Heinen now, who's had flashes of brilliance this year. Jakob Kroll, flashes of brilliance. Laurie Heinen in Riga, Jakob Kroll in Germany. They can now put it on the grandest stage of them all. Everybody at home knows who they are. This is the time to be great, but you can't overdrive the car. The track bites back, Ian. We've watched it. You can't throw caution to the wind too much here. But that's where's that balance, the risk and the reward. We're about to find out how these guys are going to approach it.
Well, risk reward. Either one.
Так, погнали. Кроль. Хайнен. Кроль щось відпав. ну, в цілому якось набрав темпу, їде досить близько, перекладка несинхронна, доганяє Хайненена, і Кроль фінішує, ну, близько. Непогано. Непогано. Кроль вроді один з топових чуваків. Я поки я тут читаю, переписуюся, пропускаю частини трансляції. Що, топ-32 по... Я казав, що в топ-32, значить, Рароговський програв Янцику. Ярка Треша поламалася машина перед самим стартом. Головня вдарився в бетон. І Міллер на ванмортаймі виграв Орієна Нільсена, тому що той не зміг виїхати, бо він вдарився в Міллера і розбив собі маслокулер. Новак Хай. Добре, давай. Хайненен, ти як поїдеш близько, ставиться до Кроля, тягне всю дугу. Синхронна перекладка, чуть-чуть відвалився, але що? Доганяє Кроля. Хайненен дуже добре, дуже прям супер добре. Кроль їде, мені здається, першим ліпше, ніж їхав Хайкенен, але Хайненен близько, прям значно ближче проїхав, ніж Кроль. Я думаю, що Фін їде далі. Ваші ставки, Дін попаде на тумбу в сезоні чи ні? Почнемо з 1000 гривень.
In here, towards that inner zone, Heinen lets him go a little bit and all of a sudden realizes, oh, I need to get back into this. And this is where the proximity, just a little gap here. Heinen now realizes that with the rest of this run to go, he starts diving to the inside. This is the standout moment for me, the transition. Watch the front of Heinen's car, very close, stays on throttle and gets up onto the door much sooner than Kroll does the other way around. And he's got that proximity around, but take nothing away from Jakob Kroll. That lead run was again another excellent display of car control. This is going to be tough for the judges.
Кажуть, що це буде складно для суддів, ну я так не думаю. Не враховуючи те, що Хайненен той проїхав не таку чисту кваліфікацію першим, але другим він прям сажав Кроля, тому one more time. Ну, напевно, за те, що він погано проїхав першим. Тому що Кроль другим їхав погано. Отвратительно. То пацани зараз перезуються і все буде добре. Чую, що ми сьогодні скоро спати не підемо. О, Пьотр Вянцик. Це, до речі, єдиний універсал, та тройка аж там була. Походу теж Фін. Фани Вянцика. Бісяться. Напевно, набухалися вже. Ого, прапор України підняв, дивися. Молодці, космос. Хто то бетон посунув? Блін, ну не з цим бетоном, він нічим не щеплений, і то от кожен раз його псовують після кожного проїзду, то можна здуріти. Які японці, Славик?
fighting
То
to
чемпіонат
be able to
Європи.
defend that championship and take home the biggest trophy in European drifting. Laser focused in the car, and this delay is
То
not
універсал виграв в
warmed
чепи.
himself
Він
up,
квалу
he's warmed
проїхав
the car
ліпше.
up,
Чувак
and now he's
взагалі
gotta
їде
wait, he's
дуже
gotta
добре.
think about what could
Але він
go wrong
поставився
with
якось
those
не
car
під стіну, а
holders.
посередині
He's gonna
треку.
push those thoughts
І
out of his
чепа
mind.
там
He's gonna
якось
say,
теж
"I
щось
can do this, I've done
заандерстірив,
this
крутив
before."
руль не туди, куди треба. І вальнувся в бетон за ним. Та й все.
Then everybody in this stadium is going to remember my name for the rest of the time, and he has all of the opportunity here for a big upset. But Wiańczek knows Keski Korpi's a good driver, he's a great driver. Maybe hasn't reached the mountain.
Як фіни виглядають? 30 років чуваку, а виглядає на 18.
This is a game of chess right here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. Reaching the mountaintop, I'll tell you what, Keski Korpi is halfway up it at the moment.
Keski
He's been
Korpi.
the best from his local championship.
Що він ще зараз напхає Вянцику?
He's been around and he's seen what
Він
everyone
мій
can do.
герой.
He said to me, he said, I've been everywhere. I've seen all the best guys. I've seen how they do it. I've
Shanahan.
seen how they work those
And
cars.
this is the look, Jack Shannon watching on. Jack knows that if Wiańczek goes out and he wins his battle, he's the champion.
Да, якщо зараз Вянцик програє, Шенахан чемпіон.
Wiańczek's the champion. That is what it's come down to. And Wiańczek is staring dead down. He is not looking at the marshals, he's not looking at the crowd, he's not looking at
Вянцик
anything.
просто
He's
спить,
focused
втомився,
right now.
хлопчина.
That
Ввечері
delay
собі
is
уявляю,
gonna
ти там
start
3
shifting
дня,
the
коротше, на
marshal, and
тій
he's got to
гонці,
resolve
от,
that. If you wanna be the
валиш.
champion of this incredible
Чувак
series,
спить.
you've got to hold that resolve. You've got to win when it's tough to win. And it's
А, на
tough
новій
to win
М2
here.
туди
This is a
залетіти
tough
на
race
трек, і
to
там
come,
вона і
be
залишиться.
consistent and be a talent. And Peter Wiańczek taking a little drive around now just to try and keep the car warmed up. They're going to re-warm the tires on the
На
front
жаль,
half of
жодна
the car,
стокова
which is
тачка
gonna
там
help all drivers
не
to
покаже
lose a
ніякого
little bit of
результату.
turn. And it's nerve-wracking. You stand down there and you know a lot of the camera angles on this track are quite high. Every single car has gone back into that pit area in bits, in ribbons.
Слухай, Тарас, знаєш, хто би підйобував?
This is as good as it gets, but you can feel the
Зато
tension,
я
feel the
тепер
nerves.
виглядаю на
That's
10
what
років
sport
молодше.
is all about.
I'll tell you what, you want to throw things on their head? How about this? It's just started to rain.
You have got to be kidding me.
Nope, and we haven't had
Ми взагалі якось українці швидше зношуємося. В Америку приїжджаєш, тим 30 років люди ще зовсім діти. Ого, яка там злива почалася. Ого, ребята, ото зараз буде дріфт. Там що стояв? Головня Еміль?
You couldn't write it. They haven't had a,
Дощ
they
впав.
haven't had a wet lap on this track all weekend. And Peter Wiańczek's got to go. Wow. He's got to be the lead driver on the first
А зараз Фін може навхати Вянцику.
weekend, and he's got the championship
Тому
on
що
the line.
кольоса ти вже
This
не
is
спустиш,
not a
не
good place to
поміняєш.
be for Peter Wiańczek. He's got
Тупо
to
на
be
рівному місці почався
Sensation
дощ.
has got to be phenomenal. You know what? That rain has come down and changed
О,
everything.
що
That
тут
rain has come
проблема з
down
сервером
on
пише.
tarmac that's never seen rain before, and it's got a lot of rubber built up on it. This is not going to be easy. Hold your breath because here we go.
Затамуйте подих.
Korpi, unknown territory for the championship.
Ну давай, Вянцик ставиться. Керки, близько дивися. По вузькій траєкторії. Куди ти лізеш? Ну все, Керки, Корпі, 0. Все. Не той от. Заліз, коротше, Вянцику в морду. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. О! Ну, ні. Не вродив. Але зараз Вянцик може вальнутися в Кєскі Корпі. Тоді буде перевага в нього. Та ну бачите, все, диму нема. Тачка андерстірить, зацеп пропав. Хоча вроді небагато ще впало, мало би їхати. Тільки що ж почався дощ. Ну, коротше, якось дивно, може в Кєскі Корпі там якась ця... Ох, як він на лівій нозі їде, дивися. Тормозить.
I don't know. And you know what? It's hard for us to see where we're sitting. If it's still raining, I'm trying to look out the window, and then that shot just there says, yes, it is still raining, and it's raining a lot. Now, Keski Korpi has to fire that car in with all the confidence in the world and make that car work.
Цей от. Ставлю 10 гривень, що зараз буде краш. У мене тут експерт з дріфту ззаді. Такий реже. Каже, що 10 гривень то не гроші. А що вони там роблять? Бетон ніхто не чіпав.
He certainly does. He has to deal with this. An incredible pace. So we are just making sure the course is safe to
Я буду
run.
зівати.
There we go. Thumbs up
Терпіть.
all around. They get told to look for that line. And Keski Korpi comes off the line, ready to lead out Vincent for the second half of this battle. Vincent
Ну,
already
Keski
one step
Korpi.
into that great eight.
Ну, якось там змазана постановка. Вянцик далеко не старається близько під'їжджати по очевидних причинах. Перекладка не синхронна, друга синхронна. Вянцик майже вирівнявся. Стиль і відвалився. І щось не може догнати. Keski Korpi 2 колеса за трасою. Вянцик зупинився. Коротше, балет якийсь. Keski Korpi стіна. Вянцик рівні колеса. Это що, one more time получається? Ні, ну Вянцика я не чекав такого. Ладно, Keski Korpi. Хрясь.
With that unpredictable lead line of Keski Korpi, but as far as I'm concerned, so many errors for Keski Korpi on both runs. Vyancek, I think he was almost
Та Вянцика теж були помилки другим. Першим, очевидно, ні, але... Ай-яй-яй-яй. Ну тут так, Keski Korpi взагалі поїхав кудись там, де за лінією вся машина була. То 0.
We're throwing everything at this one, Dave. Throwing absolutely everything at this one. And as
Сольчик гарно. Де гарно? Тут гарно взагалі. Блін, який дощ. Не буде доброго дріфту. Ми з вами зря не спимо. Ми ж йдемо спати. Та, Вянцик їде далі, тому що там Keski Korpi там. Але Вянцик мав їхати ліпше. Я би на місці суддів дав йому тягла. Хоча він здоровий, 2-метровий. Пуп-пуп-пуп. Пуп-пуп-пуп. Та-та-та-та-та. І виїхав. Ну, давайте. А то зараз буде той от. Не дріфт, а якась фігня. О, це цей чувак, походу, з острова Кіпр, з тої частини, яка належить Туреччині. Чувак прогріває резину, тупо вперся у вивороті. Діма, на жаль, я не можу пити. А ви пийте. Я можу командувати. На 3-4. За здоров'я Вянцика. Вони не розуміють, що прогрівати резину, типу, немає сенсу. Що то дасть, що ти прогрієш, якщо вона не буде прилипати? До води не прилипне. Що було? Боже, кожен заходить, і то все треба розказувати. Рараговський програв Вянцику, Головня вдарився в стіну, в Ярка зламалась машина, Міллер пройшов в топ-16. Ситар коментує українською. Так що я скоро можу йти на пенсію, бо українські трансляції будуть прямо на Редбулі. Таке буде як в нас на арені, то точно. Ну, ми привикші по мокрому.
unless it gets wet. And when it gets wet, it gets slick, and that's the opposite effect of tarmac. So what you're actually drifting around on is rubber, not tarmac, and you're drifting around on essentially like a lino floor in your kitchen.
Yeah, basically is where
Нагадайте мені, як тих чуваків звати тільки на трансляції.
which is no chance of any grip whatsoever. This is going to be sketchy. This is going to now change the dynamic once again for all.
Ярко. В Ярка зламалася машина.
This one now going to make things even more dangerous.
Well, the thing now is it's easier on the cars, worse on the drivers, because the drivers are going to put the cars in the wall more than the cars will put the cars in the wall because the grip levels are less.
Ну що,
It's easier on the
Піскольті лідує, Хаскасап доганяє.
Both these drivers have never done a wet lap. I'm almost closing my eyes as they come into this first corner. Piscotty to lead in Haskasap. Here we go. Piscotty almost spun on the initiation.
Ну, що то було?
To see what the judges make of that one.
Така перекладка на постановці. Піскотті мутить якусь фігню, а Хаскасап забив його доганяти. Тупо жесть. Ну дивіться, то... Ну що то за дріфт? Трек мокрий і... Хаскасап постійно або в малому куті, або на прямих колесах швидкості немає. 38 км за годину. Ну то смішно. Ей. Така петрушка.
There's not that much rain in northern Cyprus. There's a little bit more in Hungary, and I tell you, rain experience is something these guys are going to have to adapt to. How does he get away with this? He goes
Кажуть, що в них нема досвіду поїздів дощ, тому що в їхніх краях дощів не буває.
From there on in, Haskasap makes a host of errors. There is so many errors. I mean, he's straightening, handbraking. I think, in my personal opinion, Ian, not a very mechanical guy, but I'm going to think that the diff ratio on Haskasap's car is set up perfect for the track, but in the wet, it actually just has no more gear to spin the wheels at a higher wheel speed, meaning it's straight in the car up. Big statement, big speculation, but I think
Тут дивіться, 20 глядачів.
I think you're 100% right there, and that's the first time I've agreed with you.
Пора збирати донати. Я купив навушники.
There's been a whole turnaround in his head. We're
Так
complimenting
що
each other, we're getting things right, we know exactly what we're
скоро
talking
буде
about.
відкритий
Look
збір.
at this, he can't even get off the line. Kevin Biscotti was
Що
stuck
вони...
on the line where the bank is cam, but he
Свят-
couldn't get away. Now we see Ember Haskasap
Тепер
firing that F15,
Хакасап
Kevin Biscotti looks to
балет,
try
ну
and
їде
seal the
трохи
deal
скоріше.
in this one, and look at the speed. This is unbelievable. These guys
Пісколті
can
зато
barely
не
make
рівняються.
no grip on this
Їдуть
circuit as Haskasap is
помалесеньку, але, ну, Піскоті, блін, він хоч не їде на рівних колесах, дивися, в куті нормально. О, Хаксап вирівнявся вообще. Ну, якщо ти лідером вже вирівнюєшся, ну, то якось зовсім зле. Коротше, Пісколті їде далі. Типу... Ой-ой, як то так буде цілий вечір, то не хочеться не то, що коментувати, то не хочеться дивитися. Колеги, я йду собі візьму води, зараз прийду.
And obviously it's at night, so you're not going to see any sunshine evaporating all of the water. So they almost went to a complete stop at times there, but Piscotty stays in it. A couple of tags on the rear end. And
Добре, що я в штанах. Я думав так в трусах сидіти, знаєте, і тут тільки светр вдіти, але думаю, що десь забудуся, встану. Побачите мої сімейки. Чи по мокрому допомагає спускання шин? Ну так. Ти збільшуєш пятно контакту, але якщо контакту нема, ну то... Пісколті далі. Львівські взагалі там би мали то всіх рвати, бо... У нас перманентний дощ, ні?
to explain it in a big hypey way. Jack Shannon has to win.
Єгер варто пити тільки дуже холодним з апельсинкою і з курицею.
The outside dealt with the rain. Shanahan now
Принаймні
has
мені
to
він
win
тільки
away.
так
Shanahan should
заходить.
be able to deal with the rain. He's from Ireland. That's pretty much 90%
Шанахан.
weather. However,
Якщо Шанахан
you have Rintanen,
зараз
Jack
програє,
This is now the biggest battle
то
of the year.
Венцик
This decides the championship. Rintanen, who's lucky after
виграє чемпіонат.
but now he's going to take that look and
Я все-таки надіюся, що вони будуть рубатися в фіналі. Але по такому дощі нічого цікавого.
looks at it and goes, I don't know what's going to happen when I go into that first corner, and I'm just a little worried with Jack Shannon that he does like to go aggressive into that corner, and if it doesn't have the grip he thinks it'll have, then I can tell you what.
Шанахан молодший на навушниках.
To Jack Shanahan right now saying it's treacherous, it's slippy, don't throw it away. This is pressure, this is sport, this is drifting, this is for the 2022 Drift Masters Europe.
Так, Шанахан.
Shanahan tentative initiation. He doesn't know the grip.
Фліп.
A big hit from Juha Rintanen.
That looked to me like Jack Shannon's spot on entry. I'm just going to say it straight away.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй.
Initially,
Ну, Шанахан розвернувся, походу.
I think it was mad angle, don't get me wrong.
То есть він 0?
I think he had hold of it.
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we have two broken cars, which means that collision will be the decider of this battle. Meaning, that's a D-beat on the back of Jack Shannon's car as far as I can see from here, from the collision with Rintanen. So now it's going to come down to the judges to decide, did Rintanen or Shanahan cause the incident? If Shanahan spun on entry, therefore he's out, the Einsexier champion, and Rintanen goes through. I'm having a look at the body
Так,
language
кажуть,
here
що
from Jack
якщо
Shannon. It does
скажуть,
look
що Шанахан винен, то
Either way, Jack
Венцик
Shannon's car has
чемпіон.
taken a huge hit. And Connor Shannon is
Шанахан
now saying,
винесе
"Don't drive
малий
off the track. Don't drive
кричить.
off the track." I think Jack Shanahan is driving off the track, thinking he's lost here, and this is definitely a disappointing end to a season if it is the case. But however, his brother Connor Shannon is shouting, saying, "You need to stay on the track. It's not as clear cut as that." So we don't know what the decision will be. And Connor Shannon desperately trying to get.
Блін, ну що в нього там нема, в нього ж є переговорка в шлемі.
Oh, and what's going on here now with Juha Rintanen's car?
Тормоз працює. Ну
I
окей.
want to see the angle. I want to see if Shanahan's able to deal with this, Dave. Now,
Шанахан хрясь. І,
oh,
ну так він вдарився, він зупинився об бетон.
Hit the wall, and that's the thing. He hit the wall, slowed the car.
he was over 90 degrees
It was
there.
over the 90 degrees, and he hit the wall, meaning that he was coming to a slow. Watch, he slows here. Rintanen goes in. That's a full throttle area of the track. As far as I can tell, it looked to me like Jack Shannon over-rotated on entry. It was a very risky initiation in those conditions, but the conditions are treacherous. That's a big hit. Big
Ну,
hit to
Шанахан,
those cars.
ну, 90% що він там би розвернувся.
Watch Shanahan. He upsets the car on the wall. Watch this, right? He touches the car on the wall, but he's still in it.
Yeah.
He's
Now I'm
still
thinking.
in it. He's still in it.
Now I'm thinking the other way.
torn. I'm arguing myself, Dave. What is it?
You just-
I'm arguing. No, you're not arguing with me. I'm arguing with me now. I think he may have been able to deal with it. Because when he hit the wall, it didn't allow him to go any further past an over rotation. It kind of kept a hold of the car.
I've gone back the other way now.
You're saying it was Shanahan's
It's
fault?
I think it's Shanahan's fault. I
Oh,
think,
I
look,
don't know.
for me, and I'm just going to lay this down. I'm not a judge. We always say this is our opinion.
Oh, this is just us.
It means very little.
We're doing what everyone else are doing at home.
Exactly. For me, watch this. It's okay. The angle for me isn't the problem. It's
Так,
the
я
slow
щось
when
забив
he
на
hits the wall.
чат.
He hits the wall hard, and then slows, and Rintanen hits it.
Rintanen's coming in and he's almost backwards as well.
But he could be avoiding Shanahan because Shanahan is already spinning at that point. I think, and I mean, look, it's knife edge. But
I mean,
for
look,
me,
the judges they have every camera angle on 10 different monitors right
I'm
now.
going to tell you right now that where my heart is on this, from watching these guys on track all weekend and all year, from where I'm sitting,
Oh, and there's
I
Vincek.
think, I think,
A Vincek's crew working on his car, has he got an issue?
oh, I don't even want to get that far ahead of
There
ourselves.
was
Ian.
parts on the table and they were all having a
In my
conversation.
opinion, Shanahan over-rotates, hits the wall, Juha Rintanen hits him because he's slowing or spinning.
Хлопці, то забирайте ті дрова і їдемо далі. Я вас прошу. Як ми так після кожного разу будемо довго розбиратися, то
Jack's back out on circuit.
Yeah, I think Jack
Oh.
Shannon leaving the circuit tells
Що?
me that he knows he's over-rotated on entry. That would be where I think it is.
Та-та-та-та-та.
And I'm just telling you right now, I don't know the answers. The judges will come with theirs. But you're saying that you think it's a bit split. I think for
Ну,
me,
дивися,
this will
чувак
be the
їде.
championship decider. I think Jack Shanahan overcommitted. And now there's a second run. And we've not even finished the battle yet. So it's not over yet. Because I thought...
Венцик уже п'є шампанське.
Sure what's happening anymore.
I'm not sure.
And you can see Viansek is there watching on
Та
to
це
know
їдять
what's
піцу.
happening. I think he's letting it play out in the
Oh,
background.
they're watching on that.
Yeah, they're watching on.
Ну, дивися, ззаді все ціленьке.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why Juha Rittenen's car has now exited the circuit. Oh, there's damage to the rear wheel. You can see now at that angle. And Jack's on the start line. The helmet's off. And I think he's being asked now to
Шанахан
leave
заїхав
the
назад.
circuit. I am really not sure what the decision is, how the judges are looking at this.
Боже, який бардак. Я в шоці. Такі ситуації розбирати, то саме гірше, що може бути.
Breaking news from Dave NN.
Breaking
I'll
news.
tell you one thing.
Ну давайте.
Jack Shannon had a DB, so he's not going to. There's going to be no second run here. It's going to come down to that collision. That's going to be decided by the judges. As far as I'm aware,
One more time не буде.
Rintanen has left the circuit. Jack Shanahan has left the circuit. Therefore, we're waiting on a decision. There will be no second run.
Well, hold on a minute.
Там зараз механікам, звісно, в ніч і в дощ фіксити тачки. Космос.
More news.
More news.
So, I think
So.
we need to decide this one because it's actually going to be decided for the championship. I'm going to go to Kevin O'Connell because there's no point in us getting mixed information here.
Показують таких
Kevin
ключових
O'Connell knows
чуваків.
what's happened, knows the decision. Kevin, what did we just witness?
It was a lot of drama is what we just witnessed, Dave. But yes,
Було
it
багато
comes down-
драми.
It really comes down to that initiation point. Unfortunately, Jack throwing it in far too hard.
Джек
Yes, I can
заїхав
see
за
here by
глибоко.
view as well that he was starting to save it, but unfortunately, in trying to save it, he
Почав
had massive
сейвитися.
deceleration there. You have
Втративши,
come behind
ну,
him, and
деакселерейшн.
absolutely no way to anticipate that deceleration. We said in the briefing that you are not allowed to decel in that initiation zone.
Да, на
So,
брифінгу
if you
говорили,
have
що там
law
не
and
можна
that
гальмувати.
deceleration, we are 100% deeming Jack Shanahan to be at fault for that collision. Therefore,
І
because
Шанахан
he is a
винен.
DB, he is not allowed to compete in the second part of this run. But Juha, because he wasn't the cause of the contact, he has a competition timeout. He has 10 minutes to put new tires on the back of his car in the
Юха
second run of this competition.
має тепер 10 хвилин, щоб поміняти колесо і виїхати на старт.
We got your drama. Now we have the two championship contenders, and it looks to me, we will get official confirmation very shortly. To me, it looks like Shanahan.
Ну, Юсі що треба? Виїхати і поставитися.
Therefore, it may be writing on the wall.
Ну і проїхати Кубок Янцика. Ну, насправді, Діма, десь так і є, тому що там його батьків контора, походу, туди вкладає нормальні бабки.
Shanahan will bow out. Peter will go through. Vinsek will be the champion. And look at Vinsek. He doesn't want to win like this. This is not what he wants. He wants to battle to the end.
Yeah, and I think, look, I'm going to be honest when I say this, and you know, as an unbiased commentator in this championship, which we always aim to be, you gave both of these drivers rough conditions there, and one of them handled it, and one of them didn't. And as far as I'm concerned, they both had the same opportunity to go into that corner. Viansek took it more tactical, safer, more controlled. Shanahan went.
Чого вони між собою сруться? Що то нам поможе, що Шанахан і Венцик будуть срати?
Flick entries and all that, but in these conditions they don't work in. You can't do
Походу,
them, and I think
батя Шанахана прийшов, той от мужик
he knows it himself.
в
We will
куртці
get
мокрій.
confirmation very shortly over our headsets whether or not what's happening with Juha Rintanen and all the rest of it. But I'm just saying right now, it looks to me like it might not be the weekend the Shanahans had planned.
No, and the harsh reality is, I don't think it is.
Юха Рітанен, та давай, перекрутили колесо, поїхали.
Very upset, and he's dejected, rightly so, Dave. You know, he's battled so hard this year. He's fought tooth and nail to be
Куди він
at the
їде?
highest level of this championship.
На
And
старт.
unfortunately, I think it's all come down to that one point, that one mistake.
Їде вдарити машину, то...
I was just going to say, I'm
Hey,
looking at you
Tom.
waiting, thinking,
Yeah.
what does he know that I don't know?
So we can't complete anything anything to do with the championship until Rintanen comes back out on the circuit. So we're going to move ahead and we're going to rejoin this situation with Jack Shanahan and Juha Rintanen. It looks to me like it will be maybe a formality, but we can't confirm anything and jump ahead from our position. What we can do is jump ahead.
Наступну пару пускають.
Between two guys that I guarantee you are going to leave the rear end of their car on the track tonight. Oliver Evans from Wales, Diogo Correa from Portugal. Two firecrackers heading on to the circuit.
I mean, firecracker, well, he comes from a hot country, but he might not be that hot. But I tell you what he is, he's hot behind the wheel. Diogo Correa, for me, is really coming alive this weekend. Can't take it away from Oliver Evans, though. He's a champion in his own right. He is the former UK champion.
Окей, один з Португалії, а другий... Я прослухав.
He's from Wales, Dave. He knows what rain's all about. Diogo Correa, he probably gets one drop a year.
Кажуть, що в Дієго Корея той, що з Португалії, що в нього дощ буває раз на рік. Він дощ не знає, як їздити.
Diogo Correa, now this is the thing. You've just watched that as Oliver Evans and Diogo Correa. You've just watched the championship contender go in the wall on the first corner. You've got to take this a little more cautiously.
Окей. Дієго Корія, Олівер Еванс.
Yeah, good points.
Possible.
Good points.
You've seen what Peter done.
Peter was okay. Peter was like halfway house. Visconti went all the way one way.
Visconti was like,
And then he got away with it, but Shanahan didn't. I think you've got to come in on that first corner a little bit more cautious. And the problem is,
Хто б міг подумати, що в Португалії є дріфтери? Вол, Вельс чи що? Та трак мокрий, дивися, не можуть стартанути. Жесть. Жесть. Так близько не їдь, так близько не їдь. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой, два. А ви знаєте, може не так і нудно. Блядь, чувак вискакує з машини. Ми не бачимо, що радіатор висить на тачці Кореї. Ого. Єй.
This track now, Dave, was dangerous before. Now it becomes almost too dangerous.
I think it's undrivable right now.
Слухайте, як так далі піде, не буде кому взагалі їхати у фіналі. Тому що всі поздихають. Всі здихають в топ-16. Добре, що ви там пишете мені? Фу-фу-фу-фу. Рахуємо криші. Ну, десь так. То зараз буде таке, ну, тільки що сказали коментатори, що цей трек і так був досить небезпечний і всі били машини, а тепер, коли він став мокрим, тут взагалі м'ясо. Який то вже заїзд? Якийсь четвертий, здається. There's not much left there unless a cable tie can fix it, but Oliver Evans' car is destroyed, and I don't think Evans had... Look at this, the car is got fans on the back of the radiator right now, and the radiator is just kind of a thread. Як гарно. Тачка закипить. Може, то заглуши? Міллер вже сьогодні 2 рази розвалив тачку, походу. Вже його ліміт на розвали тачки вичерпаний. I think what Evans is thinking now that even if he gets the competition timeout now here for 10 minutes, how are you going to fix that car in 10 minutes? Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly this, and I'm seeing Diogo Correa. Та тут competition timeout не актуальні. Дієго Корея з'їжджає. Ай-яй-яй.
I have never witnessed anything like this in
Яке
the
м'ясо.
15 years I've been in the sport. I'm going to have to go back over to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin, unprecedented conditions here and a harsh reality for Oliver Evans.
Yeah, feeling so sorry for all the drivers having to compete in these very difficult conditions here now, but I just wanted to jump in to interject there of what the actual rule book says. So in
Yuck.
this instance, we have said
Добре.
Korea is at fault, therefore Evans had nowhere to go to actually avoid that collision. Therefore, Evans has the competition timeout, but then to go past that situation, if Oliver Evans, and the same with you Hamilton before him, if they can't fix the
Так,
car,
тачки
that allotted 10 minute time
поскакали
frame,
конкретно.
they automatically win the battle, but they cannot progress to the next stage of the competition. Therefore, the driver
До речі,
is supposed to be competing
ви цей,
in the
їде
next
хтось
battle
на
to
оргію
get a
в
bye
ту
run. That's what our rule book states.
щекавицю?
And there you go, Dave. So that's how it works.
Якщо їдете, напишіть мені, може ці от якісь білети візьмемо в один вагон.
And we've had this rule book out a few times this season, especially in Riga when we see a lot of contact, especially in Germany where we see a lot of contact between these guys pushing 110%. So there you go, in black and white from Kevin O'Connell, our head judge. 10-minute time being allocated to Oliver Evans to repair the car. If he can't repair the car, he will get the win, he will advance through, but he cannot compete in the next battle. So he will advance to the Great 8, but then he can't go any further in competition. So
Так,
now,
хто
look,
так буде? Будемо не дивитися дріфт, а емоції. Ну, теж треба. Why not?
Now look, I know Bagsy's crew were down there with him. They're willing to throw a hand in. I'm sure the Shanahans will be happy to throw a hand in to see Evans get the car back out to move forward.
Що у Львові вже не збирається? Хто у Львові не збирається?
That when Evans' car, it's not
Не
easy
зрозумів
when it's-
питання.
gets to his
When he
pit
gets
area.
to the pit
So
area,
when he
yeah.
gets to his pit area, it's 10 minutes to get that car back together. Now, Oliver Evans took off into space.
But did you see how though?
He went up
'Cause
the ramp that Correa
Korea
went over.
created. It was like he's a BMXer. He should have been able to deal with that.
Yeah, it was a kickflip.
Kickflip. He did a
First
kickflip
ever-
in his S15.
Yeah, first ever drift kickflip from Oliver Evans.
And now look, we can laugh about it. and I know
Щекавиця
everyone
там,
at
де
home's
ти.
probably
Там, де
still
я точно щекавиця.
wondering what is going on. We can laugh about it now because we know Oliver's safe. The cars are repairable. We always say that. I spoke to Axel Francois this morning. Broken his little finger when it got caught in the steering wheel. That impact in practice yesterday. And he said to me, he said, you know what? All I'm happy about is that
Хлопці,
I'm
та
still
забирайте
fine.
ту
He said,
тачку,
"I can
їдьте
build a
далі.
new car." He said, "I didn't like driving that car
З цими
anyway, Dave."
пацанами все понятно. Давайте наступних.
What a guy.
But I'll just say right now,
Просто хто поїде в топ-8, якщо всі поздихали?
I'm looking at Evans' car. He's two punctures.
Huh?
He's got some broken arms and stuff on the car. I'm not sure there's much more than that. I'll tell you why. He sort of ramped. He didn't hit the wall.
No,
he
he
ramped it. So the big damage was done by the car collapsing down. Now, if it's done some frame damage or anything like that, it's correct.
Людей, звісно, там багацько.
Broken a few arms. There's definitely some S15 arms in that paddock area. And then he's got to
Ну, я би теж той от поїхав подивитися. До речі, мені кум написав, що він по Ютубу дивиться. Міг би, знаєш, і поїхати на той, на стадіон. Скільки там тобі до того лодзя?
Until that 10 minutes is up. This has never happened before. It's one of those nights. You're going to have to bear with this because we're trying to catch up with it between our race director, our
Що той
judges,
тіп там
everything
стоїть і
else.
стікає
Drivers are
маслом
going through the
і то
wall right
солом.
now, Ian. I've never seen anything quite like this.
Yeah, I mean, look, and
Всі вже вітають Вянцика з перемогою.
Kind of not celebrating because they're still waiting on the official call. It hasn't been made as of yet. The official call hasn't been made of yet. We still have to wait for.
На турі будуть бігати один за
So
одним.
once we get that official call from our race
Думаю,
director,
в
from the
топ-8
guys
вони
at
будуть
the
брати
truck, our back
тачки
that are making
чуваків, які
all
ще
of
не
these,
розбили
you know,
тачки просто.
decisions, and our judges making these decisions. As soon as that official call comes in, I'm sure Dave will get that in his ear and he will tell you guys
У
what
тому
is
маршалу,
the
звісно,
championship.
весело.
But right now, the rain still continues to fall in Watch in Poland, and Oliver Evans' car is sat on the circuit awaiting recovery. So, grandstand still packed, guys still waiting for some action. And as I say, we are waiting to get that car of Oliver Evans removed, and I'm sure we'll follow the progress of that. We do have plenty more battles to go.
And to add more drama, that Juha Rintanen has made his 10-minute competition. I'm hearing he's in the pre-grid area, so
Юха Рітен використав свою перерву. І він зараз вийде, поставиться, проїде півдоги, і тоді виходить, що Вянцик виграв чемпіонат. Ще питання, хто виграє цю гонку. Чому машина Олівера Еванса все ще на треку?
And we're not even close to the podium yet.
Ребята, якщо ми так будемо по 15 хвилин їхати один проїзд, то ми до ранку не закінчимо.
When it's dry and everything's going great, everyone's like, what a spectacle, it's amazing. But it is tough out there for those guys. And they're putting themselves and their bodies on the line for
Щось
the
там нам
entertainment of
пишуть.
20,000 people that come here this weekend, for the amazing fans that are home watching. But it's a tough game for drifters, and it's a harsh game. And we've watched it all night play out, from mechanical failures to power steering failures to crashes with the wall. Those guys surviving, the clever drivers that are just doing enough to get around. And I think right now, the cleverest of those is going to be Peter Geinsek, who got through his runs. And remember, he had nobody else to watch. He had nothing to learn from anything else. He went out blind, and he put in the two
Тут
best
скаче
runs
кіт,
we've seen
висаджує
all
мене.
night. And that says a lot. And I think that, to me, will be the end of the season for him on a high, regardless of the result if he gets the championship. But I can tell you, Peter Geinsek right now in the wet looks unstoppable.
He certainly does, but look, I'm looking forward to the next few battles that are coming up, because I'm looking down at the sheet in front of me, and I know we've got James Dean to take on Adam Zalewski, and I can see those cars in the tunnel ready to rock and roll, and I'm thinking to myself, could this be the turn of fortune that James Dean has needed, with all the heavy hitters, Dave, starting to fall, starting to crumple? Diogo Correa, one of them, Jack Shanahan, another one of them. Juha Rittinen, you know, you're saying he's making it, but doesn't look 110% on this circuit, this changing weather conditions.
I'll put it another way, you might be wondering why there's such a delay on the track. Well, I mean, you've got the 4 blocks got knocked over, 2 cars need to be recovered. There was a lot of carnage in the stadium tonight. The fans here are watching history being made, and regardless, we want to see clean battles, we want to see good door-on-door action, but it's also highlighting how difficult the sport is at this
Вони
level.
так
If you
довго
think this is
чекали
just drifting,
евакуатор.
you think this is just another event, what are you watching here? You're watching the best in the business struggle, which means that this is as hard as it gets. The difficulty level has gone up to 11, and everybody is struggling.
They certainly
У нас
are
навіть
struggling.
маніпулятора
They are
нема на
struggling.
дрифті,
You know
якщо
what, that
що.
struggle isn't going to stop until the lights go off here at the Speedway Stadium in Poland, and the final is decided, and the champions are decided, and the trophies and the champagne are handed out, and we all head to the after party, because that is where I think
Коротше,
everyone's
нічого
gonna let their head down
інтересного.
and take a
Давайте
big
щось
sigh
будемо
of relief to
обговорювати
say the
інакше.
craziest year of the Drift Masters European Championship is over, and we can now reset, rethink, and go again for 2023. So now we can see down on circuit the incredible crew
З
from the
України їхало
team
повно.
recovering Oliver Evans' car. Now there's going to be
Точніше,
absolute
4.
panic down
Рараговський
in his
вперше
pits, as these guys are going to want to get this car repaired
проїхав
so that he can make it back out
топ-32.
for the second half of the run and then move forward
Не
into the
проїхав.
Great Eight. He will then
Попав
be
в
allowed to
топ-32.
compete in the Great Eight battle.
But then there's the thing, can
Походу він фейланув всі попередні
You
кваліфікації.
said it was just a few arms and a few tires.
I would not
you
be a good
made-
insurance assessor.
You'd be good for everyone. Everyone would be
I'd be like, oh,
brilliant.
yeah, I can fix that.
Is Dave coming around to assess this insurance?
Yeah, I'd be like, everything is fine. Everything is
Між
fine.
заїздами можна піти поспати.
I've never seen anything like that, where the block fell over, Oliver Evans ramped the block, and then you could see the air leave the tires as the car came back down on the ground. In my 15 years in this sport at this point, I have never seen anything like that.
No, me neither, Dave. And you know what? I'm just privileged to be here to say I witnessed it, because this has been a spectacle this season, Dave. We have walked away from every single event this year saying, what was that? Could you ever imagine that that would happen? And it did.
I think, you know, drifting has existed for a very long time at a high level. This is as high as I think I've ever seen it. But what you've also got to think about is you're seeing things this year that you've never seen before in the sport, and that has to say something. You're watching, you know, guys with 3 or 4 European Championships, 7 European Championships, you know, US titles, having trouble, crashing, hitting cars. You've watched every driver from start to finish. I mean, look back at Jack Shanahan crashes in the final round. Peter Geinsek, the whole back end of his car falls out in Germany. James Dean hits the wall in Germany. Connor Shannon has his crashes along the way. Kavia's in
Перераховують, хто, коли, куди приїжджав в бетон.
No, they're not got an easy ride. It's
Та
not like they're just
страшне.
coming up every weekend saying, this will be easy.
Yeah, just do a
I'll
few
just
runs.
get on the podium.
Be fine.
Блін, ну ніфіга собі серйозного крешу не було, та то якраз був серйозний.
All the money in the world that this would be where we're sitting.
Вони так дали нормально. Скільки обходиться виїзд пілота? Ну, якщо там локальні поляки, то не дуже дорого. Топ-пілота, то напевно там стандартно десь $50,000. Якогось Вянцика. А якогось там от Девіда Каркошика, то може бути і $1,000. Ну, це не враховуючи вступних внесків, ліцензії і так далі. Просто от виїхати на гонку. Тобто там оплатити проживання, харчування команди, доставку автомобіля, колеса, обслуговування і так далі.
I mean, that's one way to put it, Dave. And my phone has been going absolutely crazy with people messaging me saying, "What is this event? How? What? I don't even know anymore." They think I know. They think you know. They're like, "Ask Dave what's going on."
Completely divided emotionally between heartbreak
О,
for the drivers
пускають
that know and love in this championship.
хвилю.
At the same time, I'm equally
Дивися, дивися.
fascinated to see what happens next. Yeah.
Ну, на дріфті таке бачити, звісно, то трохи дивно. Незвично.
And then you're in a situation going, what's the top 8 going to do?
Yeah.
What happens from here? We've had rain now. Jack Shannon, I would say one of the most naturally talented drivers in the world, just smashed into the wall. Connor Shannon in tears. This is your two championship contenders, and that's how it ends.
I mean, yeah, apparently.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And I think now, you know, the fans, rain or shine, these boys are girls are having some fun out there. But I'll tell you one thing. They've witnessed something here tonight, and we've witnessed something, and I think we'll be talking about this event for a very long time to come, because there's going to be so many arguments, there's going to be so many opinions, and you know what I'm going to take from it is that drifting has a lot of life in the tank, a lot of perspectives, and a lot of unpredictable things to happen. And when you think it's going one way, it goes another, and that's what keeps it exciting, and it keeps it exciting for everybody who's been watching for 2 weeks, been watching for 20 years. This championship produces it every single round. The amount of OMG moments that we've had this year, you can stack them up, put them in a reel. I'm sure we will next week on Driftmaster's social media, and you'll go, I forgot all that happened.
Yeah. Oh, the highlight reel, not for the event, but for the whole year is going to be a, oh my God, do you remember that? Oh my God, do you remember that? Well, here we go. I can see a U-Haul written and on the circuit warming the tyres, Dave.
I'll tell you what's left.
Ну, на колеса не йде 1.2К, тому що там чуваки їздять на екстримах. Так, зараз ми будемо дивитися, як вмирає надія Конора Шанахана на чемпіонство в сезоні. З ким буде Міллер їхати? Я не встигаю за всіма. Здається, з якимось фіном чи шведом. Чи... Ну, коротше, звідти, Скандинави.
I bet you feel pretty stupid preparing all those things.
No, I went on my own. There's like a collective of us. We was all talking the scenarios and adding the points up and saying, oh, this might happen and that might happen, and we expect this guy to go there.
Did you feel pretty good about yourself with all your eventualities worked out?
To be fair, I walked out of that meeting and I was like, I don't even know. Who knows what's going to happen? And then I sat up here and I was like, well, at the moment it's kind of playing in the way we thought. And then all of a sudden I went, no, it's not. None of it's happening. No.
Started to rain and everything changed.
Yeah,
Так, на диво, наші всі пройшли в топ-32 і майже ніхто не пройшов в топ-16. Це буде найбільш відповідальний дьоргання ручника за всю історію дріфту. До мене прийшов хід. Дякую. Продовжимо. Ну все. Значить, Рітанен виграє, Вянцик святкує перемогу в чемпіонаті. Ну, Вянцик святкує, якби є чого.
the job done, and it will drop in officially. Juha Rintanen gets the win and goes to the top 8. We gotta go down to our 20.
Ні, в Drift Masters не моношина. Ти можеш, там є чуваки їдуть на валіну, які їдуть на екстримах.
You're gonna believe me this time, but you are the 2022 Drift Masters European Champion. What is going through your mind right now?
Oh no, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on through my mind. It's a lot, I have to say. We are truly happy, especially here in front of Polish audience. Dziękuję wam wszystkim za przybycie, jesteście najlepsi. Mamy to!
Янцик, mamy to.
Nie wiem, jak jeszcze mogę określić to, co czuję. And I don't know how I can express how what I'm feeling.
Аж забув англійську. Та перестань лазити, блін.
Oh, it's amazing.
Перед телевізором. Тікай.
We are still in the middle of the competition. We are still want to fight for the best spot today. Unfortunate for Jack.
В екстримах завжди був тридвір накручений, там були супер м'які. Якийсь там тридвер 70 чи. Так, ставте лайки, підписуйтеся на канал. Ну, ви знаєте, що робити. А то на каналі навіть 100 підписників нема. Ви слабо мотивуєте.
I don't think anyone in the world could have made that up. Congratulations to the Peter Wiensek, the champion of 2022 Drift Masters European Championship, two-time champion, back to back. He did it again, but it was decided in a way, and you could see on his face, dejected about it, the way he didn't want it to happen.
Коротше, чувачки вже святкують, то все класно, але давайте визначимо, хто виграє цю гонку.
To a battle that wasn't decided earlier on. It's going to be Laurie Heinen to take on Jakob Kroll. Those guys on the circuit now warming the tyres as Peter Wiensek and his crew celebrate. You can see Jakob Kroll getting as much heat in the back of that BMW as he possibly can before he faces Laurie Heinen. He wants to get on the podium. A space in the top 8 awaits for one of these guys. Who will it be? Who knows? Anything can happen this weekend here in Poland. And the rain still absolutely hammers down at this circuit. Laurie Heinen sits on the line saying, well, I've just witnessed some bad crashes. Can we make it through alive? Is what the question he's asking his pit crew. So Jakob Kroll once again, a little bit more heat in the back of that BMW. Now pulls to the line. Laurie
А цих чуваків one more time. Ох, не за каналу, блін. Перший проїзд їхали по сухому, а другий вже по мокрому прийдеться їхати.
As heavy as it ever has right now. I just took a little step outside to just see it through my own eyes, not through the glass. And yeah, the guys are going to have to be cautious here. I mean, you can talk about sighting laps. We don't do them in Drift Masters for a simple reason that everyone gets a fair shot. The reason that, you know, we saw Peter Wiensek handle the conditions fine, but there may be a change here.
Що то вони... Не поняв. Їм дали прогрівочний проїзд. А попереднім чого не давали? Бля, які там калюжі. 10 мм гуми на треку, на бенкінгу. Бенкінг, то там на постановці є такий нахил. Ну, поляк має вміти їздити в дощ. Та й фін теж. Які дурі. Дивися, Якоб Кроль не відстає. Не сцить. Ну, пацани, хоч хтось поставиться сьогодні. О, молодці, Кроль близько. Але їдуть типа в цілому вузько. Синхронна перекладка! Нічого, через рівні колеса поїхав король. Але ну в цілому, як на такі умови, король красава. Не синхронна перекладка, але ну, те стиль, але близько, близько, непогано. Непогано. Дивіться, близько під'їжджає. Ну дивіться. Виявляється, можна по мокрому їхати, якщо не мотити фігні. Ну, Фін, типа, ну як, не широко їхав, але тим не менше. Принаймні дрифтив всю траєкторію. На рівних колесах не їхав. Ну, широко, все нормально.
How slow Laurie Heinen was, still made the outer zone, which that tells me that if you look at the speed that some of the drivers like Correa and Shanahan tried to go into that first corner, it was probably ambitious, very ambitious to go in with
Так, кажуть, що чуваки, які намагалися на великій швидкості зайти в першу дугу, вони робили помилку і через то розвалювалися. Були занадто оптимістично налаштовані. Король перший, Хайнен другий. Ого, дивіться, гарно поставилися двоє синхронно. Хайнен близько. Дивіться, походу в Фінляндії вчаться їздити по дощі. Їде ближче, ніж кроль. Дивися, пресує кроля Фін. Дивися, близько. Хо-хо-хо-хо. Прям неочікувано таке побачити в таких умовах в топ-16. Тупо космос. В бетон заїхав, підрівнявся. Ну, але не так, що прям критично. Ну, я би віддав перевагу Фіну. Але я не суддя. Так що мусимо почекати. Що пишуть? Стильний Нісан. Це такий норм.
Yeah, certainly so. And you know what? Two clean passes of the circuit, no mistakes really. And this one, yeah, judges take a look back at the replay. Not really that easy for these guys to split apart. We take a look back at the replay ourselves, Dave.
Yeah, I absolutely love how these guys are managing the conditions. I mean, Kroll was tagging the wall, Heinen was up on the front wheel. They were giving it everything. And I mean, we talked about that cautious approach to the first corner, but from there on in, whatever grip is out there, they're using it to stay close. Heinen had a couple of wobbles in the chase. Gripping is an issue here because I think up on the bank it's very different than down off the bank. So what the lead car is working with versus what the chase car is working with is quite different. And I'm wondering, is the outside line where a lot of the drivers are slippier than the inside line,
їхав
which means
Фін,
that Heinen is
добре.
picking up more pace than the lead car, which is
В
actually
дрифті,
opposite
не
of
на
what you're
прямих
doing most of the time.
колесах.
You're gonna get close. They're
Замість
going
диму
too fast and you're gonna
вода.
slow down, and we see a couple of wobbles there. It's a game of chess now.
Yeah, it certainly is a game of chess. And this one, I mean, even the slow-mo shots still looking spectacular.
Ну, треба вміти контролювати свою машину в будь-яких умовах. Старі машини. У них по одному двірнику, другий двірник знімають через це. То на BMW так скрипить. Другий двірник знімають через вагу лишніх 200 грам. Короля вон ті запотіли окуляри. Ну. Король. Неочікувано для мене, але ок.
Yeah, very tough call there, and it was very close. We probably would have gone it one more time, but if you remember, this was
Напевно,
already
судді
one more time
побачили
for
щось
rule
таке, що я не
games. We're
побачив.
not allowed to go any more than one more time. So to dissect that run, both lead runs are very, very good. In my opinion, Kroll
Каже, що дали би їм one more time, але два one more time не може бути. Перше ми проїхали добре.
I really like to see that proximity and getting right onto the door. But for the Vernon's and David's opinion, they like to see the cleaner chase run from Kroll. It was absolutely.
Він каже, що йому сподобалося, що ближче їхав Фін, але двом іншим суддям сподобалося, що Кроль їхав далі, але частіше. Менше коректировок мається на увазі. Ну, бачите. Щоб конкретно добре судити, треба знати, що говорили на брифінгу. І Джеймс Машина Дін проти Адама Залєвського, молодого поляка. Залєвський непогано їде. Заїжджав в топ-4. Тому може зараз з дідом побадатися. Молодий, але мощний. І так, погнали. Залєвський ставиться близько до Діна. Пресує Діна Залєвський. Гарний кут. Блін, близько їде. Несинхронна перекладка, але все одно близько, не відпускає Діна, тримає. Всю дугу ближче ще пресує Діна. Ох, як Діну буде тяжко їхати другим. Синхронна перекладка, гарно. Залєвський рівні колеса, Все. Що? Залєвський відкрив двері, що сталося? Щось, може щось відригнуло.
He's DB'd a tyre, has he not? Oh, it looked like it was a DB'd.
Ian jumping in with the speculation like it, but it might not be the case.
Що сталося?
Oh, that's why. So it wasn't a DB'd. I thought the same, and I'm getting word in my ear that we do believe it may be a technical failure, either a drive shaft issue on the car, and I wonder if that's
А в Залєвського вже ламався мотор.
I thought it was a DB'd because it just looked like the car didn't want to travel.
Breaking a half shaft in the wet.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Because watch this, watch, he comes in, that wheel's spinning, and the other wheel is not spinning, not pushing the car. Yeah, look, there we go, broken a drive shaft.
The inside wheel.
Ого, Залєвського, походу, поламалася піввісь. Значить, він не поїде другу половину заїзду.
I think that would give the win to James Dean automatically, and that's exactly what's happening. Adam Zalewski breaks a drive shaft in the wet, in the stadium. I've never seen anything quite like that before. And Adam Zalewski just shakes his head and said it's one of those nights where anything can happen, and the drama continues.
Ні, Андрій, то він вирівнявся через піввісь.
You know what, from the way he was driving in practice and qualifying, I thought he was the guy too. I thought James Dean would have a tough job here, but James Dean sits on the starlight.
Десь їде на одній піввісі. Певно, редуктор заварений. Залєвський недовольний.
The camaraderie and the understanding of a drift fan that how tough this is on these guys.
Yeah, rightly so, Dave. These guys put their life and soul into this, and you know what? And Zalewski tried so hard. And you know, going back to what you just said, I think Zalewski thought with all these heavy hitters falling, could be tonight be the night where he gets on a podium in his home country.
Yeah, and I just got to bring it back to one of our things that I brushed over there, and I actually didn't mention was the fact that these guys didn't get a sighting, not because of the Heineken and Krull battle, because they were checking the track was drivable. The two drivers showed that it was, and therefore we go back to proceedings as normal, and that was our safety exercise over.
Один, значить, має зараз
We saw James Dean negotiate the track
ляпнути
there.
байран.
So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those nights where anything can, and it's all happened. So I mean, if anyone tries to ask you later on what happened at Drift Masters, you're going to need an hour, maybe 2 hours with them.
Ну, але якісь трохи заїзди пішли, два останніх, плюс-мінус. Бо спочатку творилося м'ясо. Що, Дін поїде ціле коло? Дивися, поїде, походу. Їде? До речі, Дін. Може, теж не проїхав весь трек. Чуваки не їдуть. Ціле коло. Напевно, через складність треку.
Predictability has gone out the window. It's a fight to the finish here, and I think James Dean playing the clever game there, not overcommitting. He came in slow, steady. He's been in these positions before, probably the most experienced driver on the grid, and it goes to show, I think, the experience of.
А там ще така чувіха виходить з пальцем поролоновим і показує, хто що виграв. Шанахан. Дін проходить в топ-8. Що як би читалося? То що, Міллер? Макківер. Двейн Макківер.
It was emotional. It's been a night of that, and it's been a night of heartbreak. It's been a night of thank yous to the fans. It's been a night of, I think,
Ви не бачили, хто там заходив?
And we're only getting to the business end now of the top 8. And Miller and McKeever are both going to know that this can go either way. There is no more predictability. There is no more statistics, no more power figures, no more grip levels. It's just decision making. What way do you approach this track? I'd approach it by sitting up here and not being on it, because it's very tough. But you know what? Is this not the biggest test?
Yeah.
This is the biggest test we've ever witnessed in drifting.
It's like the final exam of university day.
It's like you finish the game and then it's the big boss at the end. And the big boss is a wet stadium track in Poland with the whole world watching. That's the toughest it's ever going to be. Yes, there will be cars crash. Yes, there will be spins. Yes, there will be mechanical failures. But if you survive it, if you win it, if you get to the top of the podium, you've won the most difficult drift event that's ever been held. And I can guarantee you that Miller and McKeever right now believe this could be the night.
Yeah, it could be the night. It could be the night. It could be the turn of fortune, the turn of fate that one of these guys needs in this crazy, unpredictable season we've seen here at Drift Masters.
Ну що, схрестіть пальці. Зараз всі рівні.
F22 BMW build for this season, but McKeever, well, he said he has a track just like this at home, and he has a track just like this at home when it's wet as well, so he'll know what he can and can't do.
Ну, Міллер. Далеко, Міллер. Прямі колеса. Далеко. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Не синхро. Міллер. Півтраси. Доганяє по вузькій якось на чесному слові. Тупо два індивідуальних проїзди. Макківер, в свою чергу, відносно широко проїжджає кваліфікаційне завдання. Ну, поки що, хлопці, такі собі у нас новини і дівчата.
Is a man you don't want to come up against right now.
Certainly not. That was definitely a lot faster than we've seen anyone else come in there. Look at the speed he carried for that first corner. You can see Max Miller like, how are you going that quick?
Max Miller is confused now because on less angle on the inside of the track and he still can't catch him,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense to Max Miller. He's like, how is this guy picking up speed throughout the course in the wet?
Well, there we go. A masterclass, as Dave says, from Dwayne McKeever. And McKeever absolutely clinical on those wall runs, those outside zones, absolutely dialed. But now he has to do it in the chase position. Max Miller has to get this one figured out.
This is risky.
Так, зміна ролей.
And it's a new chassis to him this year. The car looked to be a little twitchy. What does McKeever do? Does he go in too close?
Все,
go all the
треба
way
йти
with a big error? Does he stay back? He's
Я
got
поняв,
to
що ви тут.
I think this is gonna be interesting.
Ви тут тільки зібралися, щоб Міллера подивитися, і можна йти. Так.
Yeah, here we go. Look at this. McKeever close. Look at this. He
Маківер близько пресує Міллера. Те стиль, але близько. Небагато коректировок. Міллер, що? Що тут було? Що тут було? Верніть назад. Хто винен? Що Маківер робить? Бляха-муха. Пацани, як все помінялося. Маківер, все. Розвертається, 0. Не доїжджає. Так. Якщо це було по вині Маківера, то Міллер може пройти далі.
Dead in the middle of the circuit right now. I think the whole car is fogged up. He can't see where he's going. This is unprecedented right now. Let's go back to the replay. Watch Miller on the transition because I'm thinking you initially jumped to think McKeever got a little too greedy. I think there might have been more to that. Let's see what happens as they come through.
Хто перший затупив?
McKeever's got much more pace. He's struggling with that. His car is tough to keep sideways. On and off the handbrake. Now watch when they transition here. Does Miller have an issue with? Look, Miller stalls. He doesn't
Міллер
transition.
вирівнявся. І Маківер його через то вдарив. Походу, Міллер винен. І Маківер. Маківер їде далі. В Міллера, типа, опозит дріфт.
Was the cause of the issues, but now the judges are going to have to decipher what happened from that point on. Would McKeever have been that far back if it wasn't for Miller having that stall up? Did Miller inactive and McKeever inactive that run, and then McKeever wins from the lead run? Yep, you're on your own, folks.
Діма, чекай, ще не пий з двох рук, тому що ситуація складна. Там неоднозначно. Неоднозначно. На жаль.
And I'm just trying to, I'm sorry, Dave, sorry to keep jumping on you here, but McKeever is talking to Jack Shanahan's father there, and he's saying to him he's stalled up.
Well, we're going to see a decision here coming in very quickly, and it's going to be Dwayne McKeever getting the win and going through to the top 8. McKeever gets the win and goes through. On the grid, you can see they're going to announce that to the drivers right now. Max Miller doing the international hand signals of what happened. But McKeever gets the win. Kevin O'Connell, I'm going to throw it back to you. Are we seeing two inactives on one run and then it comes back to the lead, or was there more to it? What did you guys see?
No, Dave, to go back to the rulebook, so it all comes down to the lead driver inactive. It had an incomplete run first. So as you saw on the transition from inner clip 2 to inner clip 3, Max Miller unfortunately had a complete checkup and stopped drifting altogether. So from our rulebook, that is an incomplete run. Dwayne had nowhere to go in the chase position, and that's why contact was called.
Коротше, Міллер програв.
From the lead car, that run is done. The run is over. We do not take into account the rest of the run. We do not take into account Dwayne's spin or anything like that. As soon as Max Miller incompleted there, the run.
Діма, зря ти пив з двох рук.
To be the winner.
Well, there you have it. Kevin O'Connell putting me back in my box.
Corrected
I'm
you.
closing the lid.
No,
Back
Dave.
in my box.
Get back in the commentary booth, Dave. Stop trying
Дуже
to do
шкода, дуже шкода.
There was me trying to predict something tonight.
And you know what? Fair play to Max Miller, because he said to Dwayne McKeever on the grid, "Yeah, I just couldn't. The car just didn't want to do a thing, and it wouldn't do this." And
International hand signals for I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Now I completely agree with the judges on that. McKeever
International
goes into the back of my corner. He does
Signs
good,
of
and then
mistakes.
quite a whole mess
Міжнародні
from there. So I think the
позначення
reason for that is
помилок.
that McKeever wouldn't have been in the
показував руками, що він не зміг перекластись.
The hit and a lot of that stuff can't be the case.
Yeah, I was jumping in there. I thought McKee
От,
was doing a little bit greedy on that
відкриють
one, but,
кордони,
you know,
поїду на дріфт в Польщу.
It's easy for me to
Well,
sit
this is
here
the,
and make these calls.
I tell you what, Ian, it's good that we have all those camera angles because
Of course.
initially I would have agreed it did look a bit strange, but when I just saw it the first time, I went, I think he's just crashed into the back of it
See it
because he's
from
not
another way.
drifting. You see it from the other side, and it's plain as day that Max Miller shuts down and does not drift through that section.
Скільки там валяється пластику,
You how Rintonen spun and went forward.
скловолокна і ще
But it
чогось.
didn't matter because it didn't happen because the rest of the run didn't count.
Зубів.
Now Dwayne McKeever goes into the top 8 and our top 8 is decided.
No, it's not. We've got one more run to go.
Yeah.
One more
Dwayne
run to go.
McKeever
And you know what?
йде
I'm
з
hearing
топ
word in my ear,
8.
Dave.
He did not.
Oliver Evans has got the car repaired, so he
You're-
will complete the second half
Та
of the
чекайте,
run. All he has to do is
треба
initiate and make
додивитися,
the
хто,
He's in the grey eight.
хто виграє гонку.
Finish
He
that.
got it fixed. I'm sure there is every English, Irish, Lithuanian, Polish team down there throwing parts on the S15.
There was a man per bolt.
There was a man from every one of the countries here throwing parts
So
on
what
the
you
car.
hold on, you're telling me that Oliver Evans went into the wall,
Kick flipped an S15.
kick flipped an S15, flew up into the air, landed, broke all the suspension,
Yep.
got lifted off the track, went into the pits. Every single team in the pits threw a different corner on the car
Yep.
and sent him back out, and all he's got to do is initiate, get through the first section of the corner, and he's going to the top 8.
He certainly is.
Are you telling me that's what's happening, Ian? Because I don't believe you.
Exactly. Well, I've just been told from the powers that be in the truck behind us, Dave. That's exactly what they've just told me. So we are awaiting the presence of Oliver Evans. The gates are open. The truck has now been removed. The track is repaired. So Evans will be called onto the circuit in a few moments'
Just
time.
hold on a minute. So you're telling me, imagine we scripted this. Imagine this was a scripted event, right? And we said, we're going to do a show. What I want is that I want one guy to go in the wall, the other guy to go up in the air,
Ramp his car.
ramp the car, fall down on the ground, everything breaks. Then almost 23 countries worth of teams put that back together within 10 minutes.
Треба брати когось з собою, бо чуваки там щось між собою собі говорять, а я тут сижу сам як придурок.
Basically, that's what happened.
Ні, ну я можу, звісно, говорити, там якісь анекдоти вам розказувати.
Falling out of my head.
Exactly.
Але то буде
He
не
will
той
be taking
ефект.
on, Juha Rintonen. So he'll be taking on-
He's had an uneventful day.
Так,
You know, he's had it pretty handy.
якби нам показали якусь,
Anything to report?
Quiet enough, actually.
якусь таблицю,
You know,
No crashes.
хто там куди на кого попав,
Oh, you also have a remove the back end of your
було би
S15.
чудово.
If there's anyone out there with stock of S15 tail lights and body kits, especially rear end ones,
I'll tell you that the
Wow.
marshals here have the highest stock of rear tail lights I've ever seen in my life. But I'll tell you one thing, the track, it's drivable,
yeah,
but you're seeing, I'm just saying, a lot of big names struggle. So where do we go from here with a top 8? I just want to see if Oliver Evans can get back out there, because I still don't believe that car, and even Oliver Evans, his body language said, I'm not getting back out here. So from absolute despair and distraught, he's now got to come out and do just a little bit,
yep,
and it's the highest finish he'll ever have at Drift Masters.
yes.
That's the roller coaster.
Driving a track that we also similarly have in the UK, like Dwayne McKeever, that he drives in the wet a lot in Wales. So he will be, especially after now, you know, spilling the car and saying, well, that's what
There he is.
There he goes.
I do not believe he's made the call on
Oh,
this.
he's looking at the back end as well, just for...
Кажуть, чуваки, я не вірю, що він зібрав тачку. Ну, чувак так дав, жопа, морда там.
His 10-minute competition timeout. Now remember, he was going to win the battle anyway,
Yep.
but he wouldn't have been able to progress in the
Yeah.
competition.
So this is the
So
technicality.
this is what they said to him. If you can get that car fixed in 10 minutes and you can go and pull the handbrake, get into that first corner, just show that your car is working, you're going to go to the top 8. And he said, not going to happen. And the rest of that pit area said, oh, it's going to happen.
You wait.
Wait till you see, Mr. Evans, it's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure John Shanahan was saying to him, you better get the spanners and the tools out because I'm ready to fix this car. You're not going down just yet.
So we are hearing reports, all 4 corners of the car replaced from 4 different other cars in the paddock.
Wow.
You couldn't write it, Ian. You couldn't write
You
it.
just can't even. And this will be the highest finish for the Welshman, Oliver Evans, this season of the Drift Masters European Championship. And you know what? He said to me the other year, he said, I was going there thinking I'd be the big dog. He said, and I walked away from round 1 saying, oh, I'm a little fish in a big pond because these guys are so
Hey,
talented.
good to be a fish in a pond in these conditions.
And right now, well, he's the swan in the pond because he has, like I say, a track just like this, just up the road from him, and he's on the line. Look at him shaking his head. He's shaking his head saying, never in my life lifted. I think it comes down to this.
He feels like in about 10 minutes.
Окей, Олівер Еванс їде
I'm the strangest dream.
Байран,
I crashed the car, I flipped up in
тому
the
що
air,
Дієго
ran into
Кореа
the rain, and then a lot of people I didn't know,
розклався.
but a lot of bits of cars that weren't mine, back
Ну
in
і
my car.
автоматично попадає в топ-8.
He's got tyres on the back that say wet on them. He's pulled out he's pulled out another game now.
Well, let's see if Oliver Evans can just get into this first corner. All he's got to do is initiate. Please don't crash the car, Ollie, because at this point, I'm not sure there's as much enthusiasm after this
Коментатор
run as
каже,
there was
будь
before.
ласка, не
He gets
розклади
through it, and
тачку.
to me, looks like Oliver Evans is going through the top 8, defining out our final top 8 position. And Ian, it's been a night for drift fans, it's been a night for these drivers, but some are surviving, some are adapting, and to be honest, you're not looking at drivers on that track anymore, you're looking at heroes. You think you might have pulled a handbrake or two in your time, you think you're a drifter, you think you can big opinions on the internet. I'll tell you what you can do, you can separate yourself from the heroes on track tonight, because this is a place not many people would come and throw their car around, and these boys are ready and willing to put on the show for that trophy. And this is a different breed we're looking at now of European driver. It's a different breed of competitor. I've never seen anything like the hunger I've seen on the grid. It's not about the laughs and the fun. It's about being the best. And this sport has excelled because of the passion, commitment, and level of talent that they're showing. And that top 8 is going to be incredible.
Well, here we go. We need to make it official. Our graphics dropped on screen. Evans gets
Окей.
the win.
Олівер
advances to
Еванс
the Grade 8, and now
проходить
he
в
will be
топ-8.
allowed to compete against Juha Rittinen for a spot in the final 4, Dave.
Там ще хтось є на тій трансляції.
The Polish fans are about to raise the
А,
roof on
чому
this
мене
place,
чат
because it
пустий?
will be Karkoshik to take on
О.
Jakub Kroll for the first battle
То не
of
квала,
Grade
квала
8.
вже
Here
була.
we go. Here is our
І
Grade
так,
8
Кроль,
leaders right now.
Каркошик,
Well, this is gonna be an
Венцик,
interesting one because Karkošik hasn't been
Пісколті,
tested up to this point.
Еванс, Рітанен,
Big
Дін
incident
Маківер.
goes out. Connor Shanahan in the top 32, not making it
О,
to the
може
line. It's
бути
the
в
first
фіналі.
competitive battle for Karkošik, and he's gonna do it in the most difficult
Дін
conditions.
Венцик.
Jakob Kroll, well, he's had a couple of
Як вам
runs
такий
now in the
фінал?
back, starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Remember, a top 4 place, highest finish for either of these drivers this season, and one is going there.
Yeah, one of them is certainly going there, Dave. So here we go. We can see those guys warming up their tyres.
Нічний етап.
Да.
Дін виграє. Ну, щось Дін останнім часом уже не тот. Не торт.
For the Grade 8. Well, if you're just joining us, you've missed quite a bit because a lot has happened over the last couple of hours. A lot that I'm not going to go through because I couldn't explain it. What I'm going to explain to you right now is you're watching history in the making, a sold-out stadium in Poland, ready and waiting for what happens next. Who will win? And I'll tell you what, I've never seen a driver grid fight so much for a trophy in my life. Karkošik and Kroll, neither have made it to the top 4 this season so far. Now they've got the opportunity. On a night like this, in conditions like these, anything can happen. You can't take your eyes off the prize. Kroll to lead, Karkošik to chase. Top 8, here we go.
Here we go. Well, Karkošik chases down Kroll, but Kroll
Так,
has
Кроль.
the hand on this one. He's already had a battle in the wet. He knows the conditions.
Близько досить ставиться в більшому куті їхав, ніж Каркошик. Кроль щось наївся. Але відстає якось, не може зачепитися майже на прямих колесах. Їде стиль, мільйон коректировок, тупо клачі, ручники на рівному місці. Кроль рівно поїхав, то 0. Хо-хо-хо-хо-хо. Що то, може Каркошик ще попаде в топ-4?
Makes a big error. The judges are going to look at that and say, did he stop drifting? Was it a 0? I mean, he straightened up for quite a considerable amount of time. We're going to get another look at it here, and this is the problem as well. Kroll hits the wall, Karkošik hits Kroll. So that's Kroll's fault. Similar to what we saw with Shanahan earlier on, with Jack Shanahan. You slow up on the wall, the chase car hits you because they've nowhere to go. But after that, Kroll does a good job, and Karkošik is barely on angle the whole way around. Now, that's a safe play to not make a big error, and Kroll is risking a lot, but watch as they transition.
Ну що, ваші ставки? Каркошик перше в житті прийде в топ-4.
And you think Kroll's got this one back in the bag, and then this happens. He transitions,
Ясно, що вночі їзда зовсім інакша. Я раз був тільки на нічному етапі в Одесі. Я там квалу не пройшов. Ну, я взагалі один раз дрифтував в Одесі. Далеко їхати.
Too heavy a hit with the wall, that could be the end of it. It ends anywhere on this track. It's not as formulaic as some other circuits where the clipping points
Він випав через участь та в Росії мощний чемпіонат був. Я би не сказав, що тут є, що Drift Masters, типу, значно круче. Я би сказав, що вони десь на одному рівні були з РДСом. Але тепер РДС там ні о чому, позабороняли всіх гостей. І крім того, там же ж Шанахан з Діном теж рубалися в РДСі. Тому я думаю, що діло не в тому. Я просто думаю, що який би не був король, завжди його хтось звергає.
That is just ensuring that none of that fluid goes on to the surface of the track. That would have been for the dry weather.
Yeah, we got a little hit with the wall from Kroll on the first corner. You can see that block has been moved. So that's the issue right now. Jakob Kroll has hit the wall. They want to make sure that is 100% safe.
Yeah, so as soon as that wall section gets repaired, these guys will be back off the line, ready to go. I do believe they'll probably get the opportunity to re-warm those tyres as well. And now our team from DMEC out there with that lorry.
Yeah, that lorry's had a lot of diesel thrown in over the last few days.
Скільки можна там перекидати той бетон? Чого вони його не закріпили між собою? Блін, то займає так багато часу. Бардак.
It's Jack Shanahan, and Becky has found him in the pits. A disappointing day for the Shanahans, Becky, but it's been tough all year long, and what a way to finish it, and Jack not the way he would have wanted it.
Jack, I know that this is just not the way you wanted us to go. I mean, it's been a tough weekend for the Shanahans. It was the weather out there. I saw you flick it in, and it just flew straight into the wall.
Yeah, so obviously not the ending we wanted. It's quite upsetting, but when the rain came, we weren't sure what to do, you know, because nobody had got to drive in the wet like all weekend, obviously, and with all the rubber that has been down the track, it was like as you can see now with some of the battles that have ran already.
Шанахан оправдується, чого він замотив оцю фігню. Каже, що було дуже слизько. Каже, я навіть понизив передачу. Каже, я був просто пасажиром і не міг тормозити. Каже, навіть якби я не заїхав в бетон, то він би в мене заїхав. Та, чувак, ні. Чого то?
Yeah, like obviously it's been a busy year. We've traveled all over. We've had great fun, great results. So it's not all bad, obviously. But you know, when it does come down to that one thing to get you over the finish line and you fail, it's obviously gutting, you know. Especially when everyone came out to support us. I was hoping that we'd be able to bring them home a first place trophy. But yeah, we'll just have to. I think I still finished second, so it is what it is. But yeah, I hope you're having fun anyway. So keep rocking the place.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Well, he doesn't have to tell the Irish fans to stop rocking the place. And I still have one driver in. James Dean's still in the mix right now. And Dwayne McKeever, my mistake.
Yeah, two drivers in, Dave and McKeever, yeah.
So two Irish in the top 8.
Still
Polish. And we have
Two Irish in the top 8.
and one more Polish driver will go out at the end.
Чарльз Енг крутиться в РДС. Так, бо він китаєць, а Китай з Росією, типу, большая друзья. Ну що, кроль близько до Каркошика. Але заліз всередину, і Каркошик не особо мав куди їхати Каркошик мільйон коректировок. Ще мільйон. Дивіться, постійно щось робить. Ручники, клачі. Тим не менше, кроль близько пресує його, дивися, близько. Постійно. Дивися, контакт. Ой, ну блін, кроль. Так гарно їхав. І тепер Каркошик поїде в топ-4. Чувак, який десь там внизу чемпіонату. У нього там тупо, я не знаю. По балах там вообще фігня.
Personally, might have been coming in a little too hot, but the judges will decide that. And Karkoshik looks at the car and says, "I'm not sure what panel is straight anymore."
No, I don't think he knows what panels are straight. There's some big, heavy hits on the wall there. Look at that back end popped up on the wall with a hit on initiation.
Now watch this from Kroll. Watch as he comes through. He avoids the wall, has to kind of drive through it. And then as they come down to this last outer zone, Karkoshik hits the wall and Kroll hits Karkoshik. So it looks to me like it could be a Karkoshik issue now that I look at it again, but it's very hard to know.
Well, let's look at it from another angle, Dave, as we see here on the replay. Karkoshik comes in with big angle. He slows massively there. I think he's off throttle, dealing with the angle he's carrying.
And then you've got to go back to earlier in the run. I mean, this is what Karkoshik comes in. He's going to hit the wall slow, but the Kroll is right there. He's on top of him. Is he allowing enough space for the lead driver to adjust? Definitely at this point, Jakob Kroll wants to get aggressive. He knows he's made some errors. I think that inside zone, mindset-wise, Kroll would have said, I've made a big error here. I need to go right onto the door. I need to get back in the fight. So, yeah, hard to know which way the judges will call this one. At this point in time, Ian and I are, like the rest of you, wondering. Because at the end of the day, there's so many different nuances to each run.
Yeah, there are. There's so many different factors. I think this one from Kroll is a huge factor. He was way offline there. It was going to hit the wall.
The question is this an inactive here? Watch.
Ну, кроль вирівнявся. Ну, але...
He's driven through there. We look at Max Miller doing something similar earlier on, and at that point the run was inactive. So, is it going to be the same case again? We're trying to figure this out. Who's going through?
Два поляка, розіграйте на чувачі. Їдемо далі. One more time, серйозно? Ви що пишете там?
Unfortunately, Dave, it comes down to two incompletes in the lead runs, and the first one being by Jakob Kroll and his lead run, where he was transitioning from outer zone 5 just before outer zone 5, coming into the deceleration zone. He had a massive straight and a bit of an opposite drift, so that was deemed an incomplete for his lead run. Then when you switch him around, unfortunately, David Karkoshik, he had a second deceleration zone.
Ну, як бачите, в Янцика теж тачка не покоцана. Там всі чуваки, які з топ-5, у них тачки були не покоцані. В Шанахані в тачки теж були не покоцані. Сказали, що оба чуваки приїхали інкомпліти, так що ще раз поїдуть.
I'm going to say that Kevin Piscotty has as good a chance as anybody to take down your current reigning and defending champion, Peter Wiańcek. Wiańcek looked absolutely dialed in the wet, looked like he'd all the pace, but my God, will Kevin Piscotty give this one a go?
He certainly will. Piscotty, I keep mentioning it, came here this weekend full of confidence, saying that this was going to be his weekend. The Peter Wiańcek fans, the Polish fans around the stadium, absolutely ecstatic. They know he already has a championship in the bag, but to seal the deal and to make this one as sweet as it possibly can, they'd love to see him on the top step of that podium. But first, he needs to get to that final four. Can he get through Kevin Piscotty? Kevin Piscotty
Так, давай, Вянцик, фліп, Піскотті, далеко, Вянцик, стіна, Піскотті, стіна Вянцика дала йому перевагу, він його догнав, перекладки, перша не дуже синхронна, друга ближче, Піскотті близько пресує Вянцика, близько тримається далі, не відпускає синхрон, навіть на випередження переклався. Близько до Вянцика пресує, навіть чуть-чуть його підштовхнув. Дивися близько. Каже ведучий A new champion here. Піскоті прям дав прикурити В'янцику. В'янцик зараз буде мусити прям ризикувати і їхати дуже агресивно.
But Kevin Piscotty, everywhere you look, he was there. He initiated before the lead car. Now watch Viansek, loses the rear of it. Piscotty has to check up on that, and that is a mistake from Viansek there. Watch, on the handbrake, comes in, puts a little bit too much angle into it, and uses the wall that keeps it.
Каже, використовує стіну, щоб зберегти кут. Using the wall. Не знаю, як вам, бо мені цей проїзд прям сильно сподобався. Та що Пісколті далі? Це ж друга частина. Ах, тут цікавий проїзд. Ну, типу, реально, з того всього, що ми тут бачили сьогодні, то... Бачите, питали, чи на екстримах їдуть, навіть на тих Валіно написано. В'янцик, здається, їде на Валіно. Але, по-моєму, в таку погоду Валіно, не Валіно. Ліпше на зимовій наварці їхати.
As you can see, the marshal is just straightening up that block. Light hit, not a big hit from Giantsek. He kept in it.
Що то за бетон такий, що вони його, дивіться, металевими прутами рівняють.
Those metal pieces are now broken at this stage from how many times they've been hit. So these very strong Polish men are going to straighten it up with some metal bars. And trying to get the track moving as fast as possible here is our marshals. You see Maciek Polity, the track safety official. He's had a busy evening. He's had a very busy evening. He's been doing a lot of safety stuff tonight, making a lot of calls, a lot of decisions as Maciek Polity. A lot of difficult calls because when you're using the rule book rather than driving to decide results, it's not what anyone wants. It's not what the championship wants. It's not what the drivers want. But they are unfortunately the rules for a reason, because you can't have that, you know, ambiguity in the middle of what's happening next, who goes next. You've got to have those rules, and it keeps the speed of the show high, it keeps the entertainment value high, but it's very harsh on the drivers, and that's the balance you're always trying to find. And I think from this
Скутером бетони будуть тягнути. Ну, може.
Viansek's got the weight off his shoulders from the championship. Irregardless of where he goes from here, he got the job done. He is the 2022 champion.
Нам треба отакі пластикові блоки на арену. Штук 20.
Because remember, he's got 2 wins, Jack Shanahan's got 2 wins, but if he wins this, 3 wins beats 2,
Давайте,
and he's
пацани.
also beaten them by quite a margin in the end. Viansek in the chase position, Piscotty in the lead, no idea what's about to happen next.
Каже, я не маю ідей, що зараз буде. Пилкот. Все, ясно. Ну, та і В'янцик далі. Якби Пісколті не намагався витворити щось надзвичайне, то все було б добре. Я думаю, що В'янцик не вивалив би повторити те, що зробив Пісколті. Коротше, шкода його. От жалко пацана. Ну нічого.
We know you know what it is, and it makes that finish even more stronger.
Absolutely, and look, watch, Piscotty comes in way too hot here. At this point now, he's lost the rear end of the car, and he's coming in too aggressive. He tries to dial the angle on, and you know what, he does get away with it, but then as he tries to get away with it, he drives out of the wall, hits it, and then the wheels are facing the wrong direction, so when he puts the power down, it just sends him into a spin, and a calamity of errors there. But I'll tell you one thing, he went for it, that's for sure, Kevin Piscotty, he went for it. And from my perspective, you know what, if you're going up against the current champion, why not? Why not throw the dice? Why not try and go in there and do something special?
Та точно, склали бетон назад неправильно. Пісколті не розрахував. У вас теж так лиє? У мене тут жопа.
I was just going to say.
Бетон в топ-8, так, Діма.
You're going down against a man who's just won a championship. We make it official. And there we go. Vincent gets the win, advances through to the final four. The only driver in that final four at the moment. And Vincent says, look at my door.
Дивися, що ти наробив. Будеш малював.
How dare you?
Викликаємо страхову. Що топ-4? То не топ-4. От зараз Венцик виходить в топ-4.
No, I certainly wouldn't either, Dave. So there we go. A little clean up.
Вже чуваки легесенько черкають ту стіну і вже її треба рівняти. Ну нічого, такі ненадійні речі робити.
As Kevin Piscotty and Peter Vincent make their way off.
Smile up Piscotty's
Oh,
face.
he's so happy. Look at him waving to everyone. He's like, I've had an amazing year.
He is the
Look at this,
happiest
look.
man in Poland right now. Even though he's lost, he's like, I came here. Remember, he told us the story. He came to watch Drift Masters in Hungary, had never even drifted a car.
In 2019.
In 2019, here we are. What, 3 years later?
2 years later.
Well, 3 years.
The
You got
maths, hold on a minute, I'm lost.
3 years later, but there was a bit of a gap in the middle.
There was a gap in the middle, yeah.
And he's up against the champion, throwing it in, not a problem. So I mean, that is it. If you were at home watching this and saying it's not possible, Kevin Piscotty sat, paid his ticket as a spectator.
When we went to Hungary,
Yeah.
we went to Mariupol in Hungary,
And he just watched it and said, you know what, I want a bit of this. I want to be the Drift
wanna have
Masters.
a go.
He actually said he wanted to be the Drift Masters European champion in 5 years. Well, if 3 years in, he's given a good go to the current champion, I'm not going to bet against him.
No.
It shows that dreams can come true, ladies and gentlemen. And as long as you believe in yourself, and Kevin Piscotty, super nice guy, highly believes in himself, has the right mindset, made an error tonight that he won't make again. And that's what I always say. These are the events you go home from and say,
Хвалять Писколті, кажуть, що він колись буде чемпіоном.
more battling than everyone else. At the moment, you gotta look at
Можна
the
і
likes
про
of
Ярка
Bieber,
Тришатки
you gotta
саме
look at the
сказати.
likes of James Dean,
Все
you gotta look
залежить
at the
від
likes of Peter
суперників.
Vincent, Look at the experience that's moving through to the later stages of this event. Does that tell the story? I think it does.
I think it does. And there we go. The lorry starts to make its move off
О,
the
ці
circuit.
два
We
чуваки
get
були
two
розвалені.
two new contenders pull up towards the line as they warm their tires. It will be Juha Rittinen to take on Oliver Evans. Now,
Рітанен Еванс.
qualifier leads them in, and I think he'll feel more confident leading in these weather conditions.
I think Oliver Evans thinks he's in bonus time now.
Oh,
I
for
don't
sure.
think he thought
He was going to get out.
that he
of
was going to get back out on the track. He's now going, well, I can't lose from here. He's in the top 8 of Drift Masters in his rookie season, and he's up against Juha Rittinen, who's had a couple of slip-ups on the way here. All the experience, though, lies with Rittinen.
Так,
All of that
Юха
experience.
другий.
I would say Juha Rittinen was drifting before Oliver Evans knew what drifting was.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Еванс
Oliver
перший.
Evans relatively new to the game, and Juha Rittinen been around a long, long time now. The window slides open.
The face of a man that has
He
no...
shakes his head and closes the window and says, "There's enough of that weather out there." There we go. Evans from Wales to take on Juha Rittinen from Finland.
They can't go in hot. You can't
Погнали.
cross that first corner too hot.
Тільки,
You have to
хлопці,
learn
ви вже
by
розпобили
watching what's happened
машини.
before. You've gotta take it
Вважайте.
You certainly have, and there we go.
Ну,
Off
то
the
саме
right,
кажуть
slowly, slowly
англійські
they make
мої
their way
колеги.
down into that initiation, and Evans will say,
Ну
"Well, there's
давай,
nothing left on the
Еванс,
car that I can
фліп.
damage." So here we go.
Рітанен в більшому куті, але відстав через те, що їхав в більшому куті. Від Еванса несинхронна перекладка, щось там завис. Яй-яй-яй, відвалився взагалі і доганяє тепер в тестері Рітанен. Еванс добре по траєкторії, Рітанен наскакує на нього і розвертається.
What a night. What a night. I just don't understand it. I thought Evans was going in the
Таке.
wall. I jumped back in my seat.
Мокрий
and then
дріфт,
Rittinen
що ви
spins.
хотіли?
I thought he was going to hide behind the seat at one point.
I
There, Dave.
thought Evans took a risk. He was gone
Мені
in the
здається,
wall.
що по льоді на шипі
Somehow
більше
he
зацепу,
found the grip. Did Rittinen
ніж
take
таку
Evans
холодну
over the wall?
погоду і по дощі. До речі,
Well, I mean,
той дощ, що там в них падав, напевно, сюди прийшов.
Sum up what we're seeing here. The most most experienced driver on the grid spins out against the rookie in the rain in the stadium. Go on, tell the people how this happens all the time, or how we're going to figure this one out.
Hey, listen, no one knows what's going to happen at the moment.
Well, that's a good
It's been
point.
the most unpredictable year, let alone round. I'm trying to process this in my head. For me, the grip in Evans's car seems to be that little bit more, because Evans seems to be able to control that car on and off throttle. Watch this as he comes in. Little dab of the handbrake, comes in. He's on throttle, on throttle. I can't see if he's braking. No, he's on throttle there. He rubs the wall, and I think Rittenen thinks he's going in too hot.
I think Rittenen thinks
He's going in. Yeah.
And he backs out, and Evans goes, "Suck
Ha ha, got ya."
see you later," and he's gone. And I tell you,
Mario Kart, banana skin.
yeah, but tell you one thing, it hasn't rained on the surface for about 25 minutes now.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see.
Ну що, якщо Еванс зараз не розвернеться,
More grip on it than there was before. Let's see what happens now. Can Evans hold on to that advantage?
He's playing it
то
very, very
він
safe
в дамках.
for this. He's come in very, very tentatively.
Ну то що за Unchaseable Run? Взагалі відстав
Zones
від
distance
Юхі.
off Rittenen. I think he can do that.
Ну от, плюс-мінус.
To turn the screw, trying to drive on
Тримається
with the shoes and everything he can. As now
близько, переклався. Ну та починає доганяти. Юха добре по траєкторії, Еванс не близько, не намагається пресувати Рітанена. Перекладка синхронна. І отут вже починається якийсь пресинг від Еванса аж в кінці траси чуть-чуть. Ну, але Юха розвернувся. Якщо зараз Евансу не ляпнуть Unchaseable Run, то він проходить в топ-4.
Well, if he has, he's just taken down one of the biggest names of European drifting, a man that's travelled all around the world, a guy that Oliver Evans has watched drift all around the world. Has he just taken down a superstar?
I'm just going to say that, remind everyone that about 45 minutes ago, Oliver Evans was flying through the air.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And now he might just have taken down the most experienced driver on the grid. To go into the top 4, his highest ever result in drifting today. And you talk about unpredictability, he does very well here, adapts everywhere. It's not spectacular, he's playing it safe, he knows he has the advantage from the first run, or at least he assumes he has the advantage from the first run. But just towards the end, Oliver Evans, you can see left foot, right foot, smashing the clutch, accelerator, just drift 20 more feet, that's all he wanted from the car.
Yeah, he was literally making that car do things that it didn't want to do out there on a circuit. Just take a look back at these shots. You can see the way that Evans was balancing that S15. Incredible stuff. Juha Rittenen did everything he could, but I think the spin and I think the line was not enough. And there we go. We make it official. Oliver Evans heads through.
Еванс дальше. Ну тут читалося. Все, довольний. Та ясно, топ-4 такого престижного чемпіонату, то серйозно. Що там? Діма, тяжко тобі? Мусиш сильно пити? Рітанен як добрався? Ну, та... Ні, та Рітанен якось там щось трохи їздив. Ну що? Двейн Маківер найшвидша людина на треку. Серйозно?
James Dean hasn't had the perfect season by his standard. Going to that final 4 may seal the deal for either, but only one is going to do it. The heat indicator goes to James Dean simply because he has won this championship 3 times before. He won't do it this year, but he could win the final round, jump into 3rd in the championship.
Ну давайте. Маківер, що ти там маєш? Маківер взагалі ні звідки прилетів в Джеймса Діна і не відпускає його. По вузькій траєкторії ріже траєкторію Маківеру. Маківер перша несинхронна, друга синхронна. Пресує Діна те стиль, але близько, дуже близько, прям космос, як близько. Все, вже тут перестав пресувати, несинхронна перекладка, відвалився Макківер, але наскочив на Діна, пресує його. Двейн Макківер. Хо-хо-хо. Ну, зараз подивимося, наскільки Дін торт чи не торт, але зніміть йому бампер. Щось, Діма, в мене в носі свербить, ну давай горівку. Ще й жарти тепер хочеться.
And Dean throws a lot of angle. Now, I'm going to say this out loud. Angle is dangerous on this track because if you go for a lot of... Look at the angle Dean's pulling into these corners. And watch McKeever. He's trying to come in and he's got to stop up, go on the handbrake, go. And this plays into the hands of James Dean throughout the whole run. However, when we switch these two around, that's the opposite problem. McKeever's faster than Dean. So this is going to be a tale of two
швидший,
runs.
ніж Дін.
Dean absolutely inch perfect in the rain, running every wall. And McKeever loses a bit of
Дін
transition because he's going
ідеальна
too slow, too
траєкторія.
shallow. He has to back out here.
Ну,
He's going
ок.
to hit Dean, and Dean then takes
Ну,
that
якщо
advantage
Макківер
and
дійсно
transitions
такий
across.
бистрий,
McKeever's going off the track.
то Дін його
He
зараз
will
не зможе
also
догнати,
stay on the track.
і все
And the
буде
problem
добре.
now is Dean will know McKeever's car is super fast. Dean knows that he's got to
Все,
get close
зняли
and
Діму
very
стопи,
aggressive on the
кажуть,
initiation.
можеш
And
їхати.
that's where we see all the trouble on
В
this
нього
track.
що,
McKeever's
металева
the faster
жопа?
driver. Dean's got more angle. What way does it play out on the second half?
Well, we won't have long to find out, Dave, as both cars are now ready to rock and roll. The loose panels, the loose tail lights removed. And our Starline Marshall Martin stands in the middle of the circuit. No rain's falling. Is the track going to start getting patchy for
Кажуть,
the
що
final?
дощ перестав.
So, look at this, Dean creeps forward. He can't let McKeever get away. They
Да,
know, as
Дін
you said, that he's
постарався
faster. He's got
стартнути
the
максимально
Dean
швидко.
now starts to feel that,
Макківер
starts to see
дійсно
McKeever driving
гарно
away.
розігнався, висока швидкість, Дін близько пресує широко. Дін добре, перекладка синхронні дві, тут чуть-чуть далі від'їхав, але доганяє Макківера, пресує на перекладці ближче, ніж був Макківер. І... ну тут він трохи далі. Дін відпадає в кінці. Що за балет, Дін? Що таке було в кінці? Якщо Дін випаде, то буде якби дуже цікаве топ-4. Запам'ятайте, вони не люди.
From James Dean, and I just spotted it on that where you was talking, Dave. That inner zone, James's front wheels were straight, and I'm telling you now, the judges see that more than anyone else.
Yeah, but then watch this on the transition. McKeever, this is where he's getting the pace advantage. He goes on a big risk here, very little decel, goes into the wall, and that's risky because he keeps it going, but he could easily have ended his run there. And at this point, James Dean goes, no, he's gone on more speed away from me. I can't catch him. Dean doesn't go to the inside of the track. He stays on the outside line. So I think first corner for Dean, last corner for McKeever. I've got to look back at the chase from McKeever, a couple of wobbles in there, a couple of wall hits from both. I mean, it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other. These are two of the best in the business going head to head. Two very tall gentlemen as well. Who's going to the final four? The decision is going to drop in. It's going to be James Dean.
James Dean дальше. Двейн Макківер трохи в шокові. Ірландці між собою розібралися.
It's a little bit of everything, to be honest, there, Dave, and it's really it comes back down to what we said in the briefing. What we're looking for from the lead car is to have a chaseable, clean lead line and to run as
Блін,
close to
чому в
that
мене чат
point
пропадає?
qualifying run as possible. And I think if you
Чат.
compare lead to lead and chase to chase, I think James overall definitely had the slightly cleaner of both. Dwayne definitely being a little bit more aggressive, but overall, if you look at James's lead line, he fulfilled all of those zones where and did it
Тарас, ти граєш з
so
собою якусь гру
cleanly.
і виграєш. Це прям чудово. Я таке люблю.
But he even made contact with a few of them. He dropped out of them. So I think we could all agree that James did have the lead runs. Then you look at the chase runs. Both drivers having fantastic proximity for these conditions.
Кажуть, що в Діна були кращі проїзди першим.
I think James had the cleaner chase. He was matching angle. He wasn't sacrificing that qualifying line that we were looking for to maintain that proximity. And that's something that
Діна був частіший проїзд другим. Менше коректировок.
But overall, James just took it in the end.
Well, James Dean takes the win, goes through to the final four, and we go back to the one more time between Jakub Krull and Dafik Karkoshik, and we just can't work it out between these two Polish drivers. It's been a strange matchup because both have been tested in very different ways tonight. Karkoshik not as much, but now we've had wall hits, we've had spins, we've had crashes. Can we get two clean runs between these two excellent drivers for our last top four spot? Whoever wins will face another Polish man in Peter Wojciech. So let's see what happens. Karkoshik with all the experience, Krull wanting to finish strong this season.
Давайте, Каркошик, Кроль, скоро розберіться, будь ласка.
Yeah, they certainly do. The rain, as we say, has stopped falling now. The track drying in certain areas, especially on that drifting line, that qualifying line. Jakub Kroll, to me, looks like the guy to keep your eye on. He seems to be dealing with these weather conditions a lot better. And look at this.
Ого, Каркошик відстав прям сильно. Кроль розвернувся.
How did they not hit? How did they not hit?
It was like sweating. There was like two.
That was fixated.
Каже чувак, як вони не врізалися? Як вони не врізалися?
Absolutely not. He's going into the wall.
Absolutely not.
He went in so fast for what the conditions are. You could see it. He came in on a big flick. We saw it with Piscalti. We saw it earlier on. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on this circuit. And I think both drivers are going to get away with this, but how did they not make contact? Both cars spun around 360 degrees, but Karkoshik, I'm looking at the wall. He must have hit that wall.
He did with the wheel, and that's why he was just standing there shaking the steering wheel to see if it bent anything, if there was anything damaged. I think he got away with that. I think it was so low speed that he got away with it. We do need to get that wall reset though, and the rear bumper of Karkoshik's car will be removed.
Can I get a replay of how two cars spun around in a circle and didn't hit each other? Because I don't understand what happened there. How did that happen?
Oh, I mean, we're going to see it now. Look at this. Kroll goes in so hot here. He knows he needs to drive away from Karkoshik. And Jakub Kroll didn't really... And you can see the front wheel. Oh, you know what? It just touched it, but it was on the same angle as the wall, which I don't think is going to have caused any damage.
Watch the little touch of the rear bumper on Karkoshik's car. Look.
Чуваки знаходять завжди, що обговорити. Тут
Little touch of the
якби...
bumper and they get away with it, and both cars seem relatively okay.
Yeah, they look like they come out fairly unscathed.
Гарний сейф.
There is
Можу
tape
сказати,
over
що
the
це
door of Jakub Kroll's car.
найкращий сейф цієї гонки.
Look at this as they come through. Oh, come on. How? Yeah, it is Karkoshik that comes off the worst. He hits the
Діма, лишилися Дін і Венцик. То все, що треба знати. І теоретично вони будуть міситися в фіналі. Тому що ще буде один поляк і один хто? Один не пам'ятаю хто. А ті бетон переставляють. Ой, Боже, дай мені сили. Да, Каркошик, молодець. Якщо він зараз не розвернеться. Чувак знімає, як чувак знімає. Рекурсія.
Take the highlight reel from that, put it into the last 4 or 5 hours, same thing.
Yeah, I have no words. I have no words for what.
Там є польський коментатор, який кричить в мікрофон.
A load-bearing bowl.
For some reason.
Yeah, so them guys are pulled back onto the line. We are waiting to get that lorry removed. It is now making a move. It's
Just look at this. You've got a water bottle at the back of Jakob Kroll's car. You've got tape holding the door together, and he's still in the battle.
Yeah, these cars are literally holding on for dear life right now, but they are holding on and they are working. And our crew, as you can see, they're just trying to get that wall back in position. Looks like it is ready to rock and roll.
You know what? They had the machinery and the crane, and they used just pure strength.
Yeah.
Just they said, you know what? Give me that bar.
Men.
I'll sort this out. Don't need all the machinery.
От з всіх тачок, які сьогодні були на треку, я хочу отакий скутер.
I'll bring my crane lorry.
Навалюєш собі на скутері, крутий. Каркошик, будь ласка, не розвернися і їдемо далі. Але, блін, чуваку так канає, він дійшов до топ-8 тупо на фарті. От би мені так щастило. Ви чуєте, як кіт м'явкає? Бо я чую.
Easier said than done, but he has got the talent, he has got the skill to put in a nice lead line here.
Та відстань ти, м'явкати. Псика. Псика. Вибачте. Поїхали.
We are waiting to get the all clear as we look at the side of the charred body kit of Jakob Kroll's car after a tough season here at the Drift Masters European Championship.
Багато скотчу тримає ті машини. Каркошик, давай. Просто на ручнику без фліпа. Дивися, широко, кроль близько пресує Каркошика, Каркошик перекладка, друга перекладка, добре, пропускає дугу, але тим не менше їде дріфтить. Каркошик близько до кроля, синхронна перекладка. Ну, здається, в топ-4 приїжджає Каркошик, який з трудом проходив квали. Або не проходив. То просто, ну, типу, супер. Але що в фіналі буде 2 поляка і 2 ірландці. Якщо кроль виграє вообще гонку, то... То цирк.
Getting into the outside zone.
He didn't get the transition the way he wanted to. So Kroll being a little bit too aggressive. Oh, just smashes the wheel, not even the back. I think this is going to be an obvious one. And the car with the complete front bumper is going to take the win. And it's going to be David Karkošek getting the win and going through.
Karkošek дальше.
Phenomenal job from David Karkošek to come through from an engine failure on the first lap of practice yesterday to qualifying. Now he's got 2 shots at the podium, and he goes up against his ex-teammate Peter Vjajcek. We'll get to that in a bit. Drama building on one side of the bracket. Now, I'm going to say it right out now that we will be heading into what I think. There's still a sting in the tail here. There's going to be a twist. There's going to be a twist. Yeah. Before we get out of here tonight, there's going to be a twist. It's going to be Vjajcek taking on Karkošek. It's going to be Evans taking on James Dean. And then 2 of those people are going to go to the final.
Drift Masters GP вже запостило, що Петр Вянцик is our DMEC 2022 champion.
Put your ideas back in the box, because none of that has mattered for the last couple of hours. It's all about random situations and results.
It's almost like a random selection. Spin the wheel.
And it's landed on car flying through the air. Landed on 2
Де
cars
звідси?
smashed in the wall. It's landed on championship contenders going out before the championship.
Тут котиків не люблять, тут люблять дріфт.
It's been an exciting event. It's been an unpredictable event. Well, I'm not sure if anyone at home could take their eyes off it, because I certainly can't.
No, I haven't, and I didn't want to, because what an event it's been. This has been so game-changing. Things have gone upside down so many different times, Dave. How does it end? Where does it end? What happens at the end?
Well, I'm not right in the end here, because I would be wrong in every prediction, but I'll tell you one thing. you've got to look at favourites here, and you're going to be looking at Dean and Giantech in the final. However, on a night like tonight, I think it's just anything can happen. So Becky's down. She's got
Everything can happen.
a tough old time earlier on in the competition. Becky, it's been a real tough battle for all these drivers. What's it like from inside the car?
В чаті нічого не пишуть, чи в мене нічого не грузить? Орен Нільсен, тип класно прям їде. Мені подобається. А, щось загрузило. Венцик програє Каркошику. Каже, що поїде на другий рік. Молодець.
You know what, just hang back a little bit. But you just got the tunnel vision. I know what that's like, and it was on.
Каже, you have a tunnel vision.
This year I've been so focused each time, and I think when he said that, I get the time to forget it, and when I went on to chase him, I forgot it. So I went just onto his door, and I couldn't keep the car sideways because there was so much grip. And then I hit him in the transition, broke my oil cooler, spilled oil onto the track.
Розказує, як їхав за Міллером. Ну нічого. Я думаю, що Каркошику треба сьогодні купити лотерейний квиток. То прям...
I think we're just going to keep pushing with the car we have because we know it's so good and the team knows the car. We're going to fix the engine, make some upgrades. I'm going to work on myself and hopefully we can come back much stronger.
Well, that's brilliant. I'm delighted. I can't wait to see you out there next year. Thank you so much, Oren.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you. And thank you for all. Thank you to everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Becky. And well, seized the engine, smashed the car up, threw it into the air in Sweden. But Oren Nilsson still has a smile on his face and he says, I'm still coming back next year. And well, as you can see...
Кажуть, що швед розвалив тачку, літав там, бився. І каже, я приїду на другий рік. Та ясно, що приїду. Бити тачки наші, все, ірландці вже там навалені. Шанахан з кінтами. Ох, сьогодні братам Шанаханам батя дасть ремня. Як так все просрати? Янс Каркошик. Дін Еванс. То не фінал, то якийсь цирк.
That one not playing out for Oliver Evans. He was very dejected, felt a little bit robbed there in Sweden. Now gets to go again, but in the weather conditions that he is happy in, because this is an equalizer.
Що тут в Діна склопідйомник? Як же ж пластикові вікна зробити з того зугольника? Каркас. Ірландці вже все. Подивися на них. Одиничка? Одиничка? Бачили? Запишіть собі. Дін їздить на одиничці. А якщо Дін їздить на одиничці, то всім треба так робити.
It's unpredictable, and boy, is it competitive.
It certainly is competitive, and is it tough on these guys, tough on the cars, tough on everybody.
Well, name me a sport where the top of the sport isn't tough on the competitors. Let's be honest.
True.
This isn't a hobby anymore. This is a career path. This is the future of the sport. These guys are out here earning the right to be here, not just turning up with a car saying, I'll give that a go. People don't do that in Drift Masters anymore because there's no point. You can't hang at this level because you want to. You've got to be able to.
Exactly.
And these guys are able to. And that's hard to decipher for a lot of people in the sport. But if you're at the pinnacle, That's when it's the toughest, the harshest.
О, чуваки з прапором України. Та не тільки
Yeah, we certainly have. We've
з
seen
трансляції люди йдуть, там я бачу на трибунах теж вже половина розчарувалася і пішла додому.
and they have survived.
And I mean, there's four
Типу
drivers
заплатив
who won
гроші, а
the
тут
top
такий
four
балет.
that earned their spot here. They earned it by going through the toughest practice, the toughest track, the toughest qualifying session, the conditions, the rain, everything was thrown against them. And they stand by their cars ready to go out to try and win the thing because they've got this far. And every trophy on that podium has been earned more than any event I've ever watched before. And that means more sometimes than anything. It's not about, is it easy? Is it handy? Is it fun? It's about being the best. And that's what this championship wanted to decide for drifting. And boy, are you watching these guys try and prove that month after month this year. This is the pinnacle of this sport. And four guys want to be the pinnacle of the biggest event it's ever hosted.
They certainly do, and we await now for those contenders to make their way on circuit to find out who will be in that final, to find out who has got what it takes. I have no idea.
I'll tell you a story right now. David Karkoshik, Peter Viancek, very good friends behind the scenes.
Former teammates.
For a very,
Karkoshik
very long time, and they traded blows.
і цей.
They traded blows all the way around.
І Вянцек колеги.
Karkoshik gets the win. Viancek gets the win. First in the championship, second in the
Уявляєте собі?
championship. Peter elevates.
Колеги зустрілися в фіналі.
Goes to stratosphere. Karkoshik takes a break. It's taken him a while to get back into the sport. It's taken him a while to get back into the swing. But tonight,
Давайте, поляки. Поляки проти ірландців. Ну, тобто зараз між собою поляки поб'ються, а потім вже ірландці. Дивися, псує асфальт свіжий.
But we also get that on the other hand, Dave.
I'll tell you what, four warriors enter the arena.
Чи це вже їсти хочеться?
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This is the top four.
This is the top 4. Я готовий.
On a rainy night in Poland, history will be made. And to kick off the top four, it will be two familiar foes. Two friends, two ex-teammates in almost identical machines will go head-to-head for a spot in the final. Viancek, weight off his shoulders. He's the champion, back-to-back Drift Masters champion. But that's not going to matter one bit to him right now. He wants to win it in front of a record attendance in Poland. He wants to prove why he's won it, because he could hang when no one else could. Karkoshik, well, he has had a disastrous season. But if he takes Viancek down here and in front of his home fans goes to the final, he's back in business heading into 2023. A lot more than two cars and two battles to go here.
They're laser focused. He pulls to the line. Karkoshik throws open the door. He says, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for action. He gives a thumbs up, but it's a nervous thumbs up. It's an awkward stare out of the car. He nods his head. He's in the zone. Viancek is absolutely dialed. His eyes are fixed on one thing, and that's one thing only. The prize, the top step of the podium. He isn't messing around for this one.
No, and the thing about it is that this is a battle of proving yourself. This is a battle of proving yourself.
Зараз дивимося, як Каркошик буде уничтожати Вянцека.
He's coming off the line. He's starting to learn the conditions here. Viancek coming in slow, and Karkoshik can trust the lead car here. Viancek
Давай, Каркошик, дивися, близько поставився і пресує Вянцека. Перекладка якась змазана, відвалився від Вянцека, догнав Вянцека. Під'їжджає близько, присутній пресинг. Перекладка з коректировками. Відстає на останній дузі, тут чуть почав доганяти. Ну, скажімо так, катастрофи нема. Я думав, що Каркошик проїде значно гірше. Як то кажуть, дома і стіни помагають.
is unstoppable right now. I know there's going to be another side of the bracket arguing that right now. There's going to be an Ollie Evans and there's going to be a James Dean looking on saying, nah, I can beat him. But I'll tell you one thing, Karkoshik got a surprise there. With the pace, with the angle, and he had to make a couple of corrections to stay with him.
He certainly did. There was a few wavers, a few wobbles, and there was some moments there where Peter Vincek pulled away from Karkoshik. Brave was the transitions, brave were the dives from Vincek, and look at that absolute perfection onto the walls as Vincek fulfills those outside zones. Now he plays the game. Now he has to hunt down a man that he followed and chased many times.
Заміна ролей. Каркошик перший, Вінцик другий. Каркошик на ручнику. Вінцик доганяє. Вінцик тестиль. Вінцик відносно близько. Несинхронна перекладка. Вінцик пресує Каркошика. Тестиль. Їдемо в заднє колесо. Синхронна перекладка. Близько пресує Каркошика. Прям дуже стабільно. Вінцик далі. Ну що, буде Вінцик Дін? І Дін попаде на тумбу. Той Дін, як йому вдається завжди от попадати на тумбу?
When I thought the confidence was building in Viansek and he was unbeatable, there was a chink in the armor there. I think he's done enough over the 2 runs, but it's still not easy. It's not a guarantee. Remember that at any moment it can end your entire weekend. And I'm going to watch this on the replay and show you guys where it happened. Just after that front zone, watch the chase car Peter Viansek transition. Probably a little too early here. Millimeters from the wall. Just gets away with it. It's either
Та Вінцик теж вдома, але Вінцик всюди вигравав, а Каркошику от тут допомагають польські стіни.
You might not get away with it in another battle. I'm just saying at this point in time, look how early he transitions and gets away with it. But Karkoshik for me, he's
Та що так довго, хлопці? Та все ж ясно.
He does a good solid lead run. Oh, it's been a tough one. And I think when we see this result come in, it's probably going to be an obvious one, I'd imagine, to go to the final of the final round. It is Peter Viansek.
Вінцик їде в фінал, а Каркошик поїде за 3-е місце. Може ще буде на тумбі. Who's fought tooth and nail, who's been in the air, in the walls, has 4 different cars making up his car right now, and he goes up against one of the best in the business. And on a night like tonight, could it be Oliver Evans to just take it all down? Well, stranger things have happened tonight, so I'm not going to predict any difference, but it is going to be the Irish versus the Welsh. Whoever wins takes on Viansek in the final. Whoever loses takes on Karkoshik in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. That's what's at stake. I don't even know what way to call it. Of course, everyone's going to look at James Dean and say he's the favorite, but Viansek's making mistakes. Every driver is making mistakes, and one small error, one misjudgment, 1 millimeter that you don't make the right decision on, and you can hand it to the other driver. And Oliver Evans has nothing to lose here. He has absolutely nothing to lose. Немає що втрачати.
Kitchen sink at James Dean here, and James Dean, I think, wants to get to that final, finish the year on a high, and take on Viansek. This is a big one.
Ну давайте. Еванс. Дін, який кут. І Еванс хотів повторити той кут. Але Еванс дав стіну. Один від'їхав від стіни. Ну, подстава. Еванс тере Діну двері, але то вже нічого не поможе. Чувак, ти вирівнявся. Трохи відпустив для перекладки Діна і знову під'їжджає. Блін, пресує Діна. всю останню дугу близько. Файно. Непогано. До речі, то здається на цьому треку якийсь поляк по вайлдкарті так дав тягла Діну, що той офігел. І виграв тоді, походу, етап. Не пам'ятаю, як його прізвище було.
That isn't easy to balance that car at those speeds.
How did he get out of it?
That wall.
How did
That's
he
what
get
I'm
out of
saying.
it? Yeah.
That goes to show you the talent he has, that he can do that, back it into the wall and say, well, let's keep going.
Evans, I think,
he dealt with that.
I think Evans bails out thinking Dean's spinning around,
Знов яхтинг.
which the judges will look at, but it looked to me, I'm not sure.
Do you know what I'm just going to do? Excuse me while I take my hat off to two incredible drivers.
Ну давайте другу частину того балету. А так вже хочеться спати. Зараз здохну.
He's over 90 degrees and he hits the wall.
He deals with that so well.
Now the question is, and I'm not going to answer it because it's not my job to answer it. Does Evans bail out because he thinks Dean's going in and that's his mistake? Or does Dean make the mistake and Evans has to bail out and it's Dean's mistake? You can have a little talk amongst yourself at home of what you think.
Боже, яка різниця, хто помилився? Давайте подивимося другу половину проїзду. І тоді буде видно. Хто папа?
So he has hit the wall significantly. We saw the sparks fly up from the rear of the car. Evans and Dean are back on the line, which means we have a completed run. But I'm not too sure James Dean is back.
Дін їде не в ту сторону.
I think he's going to try and warm the tyres on the back of that S15 because I think they're being told there is a wall repair, so they are going to want to need to warm those tyres once again.
Now Evans is getting radio messages right now saying, I don't know, but it looked to me like Dean over-rotated on the entry and you had nowhere to go.
Там ж був такий легкий удар і знов блоки посунулися.
Dean's team are going to know from James himself. We don't, but James Dean is going to know himself whether or not
it was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Чому не роблять дріфт вдень?
Go back to the battle we did with McKeever. You got it absolutely spot on, Dave. He was trying
Нас в Америці могли
to
дивитися?
upset the chase car. Is that what he was trying to do on initiation? Throw Evans?
Now here's
Діма, почекай.
little spanner in the works.
Горівка закінчується, то звісно біда, але лишилося ще чуть-чуть.
A wall run in the zone. It's before the
Буквально от проїзд зараз за вихід в фінал, потім два проїзди за третє місце і два проїзди за перше місце. 5 проїздів по трасі. І кінець.
I still agree with that point that he makes a mistake. The question the judges will ask, could Evans have dealt with it better? To me it looked like I think Evans thought Dean was going in, Dean does go in, and Evans bails out, but then Dean keeps it going. I would say Evans was nearly as surprised that Dean keeps it going as we were.
Yeah, I think the question is, could Evans have dealt with it better than he did?
I think it's a
I don't know.
I think it's a drastic decel.
But you've got to be in Oliver Evans' shoes at this point when he see Diogo Correa do exactly the same thing and then he ended up crashing the car.
Yeah, and because he didn't crash the car, it goes to a judging decision rather than an instant decision. And because it wasn't a crash, the only reason it wasn't a crash is the talent of James Dean to get himself out of trouble.
Yep.
Прогрівають.
None of it might matter in the next round because we have no idea what's going to happen. That's already halfway through. Remember what's up for grabs. A spot in the final of the last round of the championship. You can see Jack Shanahan, Bagsy, all the crews watching on to see what's happening. And then Jack Shanahan will be looking at going, there's James Dean, his mentor, his idol, making a similar mistake to what Jack Shanahan made earlier. So it shows that anyone on this track is not comfortable.
And how could you be? I don't even think the lorry driver who's going out to repair the wall feels comfortable tonight, Dave.
He's not taking it out of first gear.
He's taking it nice and steady down there. So there we go. James Dean back on the line. A little shake of the head from James Dean.
And that says a lot too.
Yeah.
That says a lot too. If he thinks he's made the mistake, what you got here is a James Dean.
A confidence look from him.
Here's the thing. What if James Dean does think he's at fault? There's Michael Sheehan, James Dean's spotter. He's going to be saying, maybe you are at fault, James. You're going to have to put in the chase run of your lifetime.
Кажуть, що можуть Діна гризти сумніви, що він винен тому що той чувак вдарився. Ну давайте. Дін в більший кут ставиться за Евансом. Близько пресує Еванса дуже близько. Відстав. Перекладка синхронні дві. Доганяє Еванса. Еванс стіна. Дін близько. Близько. Синхронна перекладка. Дін вузько, але близько. Пресує Еванса. Дін. Дуже добре.
Evans hits the wall, Dean hits the wall in his run. There's no rear ends left on the car, and Dean sticks with him through the entire circuit. The judges are going to decide this one. I think it's going to come down to that initiation on the first half of the battle, but the second half of the battle.
Там питання з тим, от що Дін сильно зауглився. Можуть його нааяяяти за то. Там була зона, де не можна тормозити. А він сильно замедлився. В них швидкість однакова. Ну що, дивися, є рішення? Який чувак маленький порівняно з Діном. Дін за третє місце. Еванс їде в фінал. Я в шокові. Що з тим дріфтом робиться сьогодні? Тупо, якби мене зранку спитали, хто буде в фіналі, я би точно не сказав, що буде Еванс і Віанцик. Вибачте, що я зіваю в прямій трансляції. Северин там, напевно, спалив змію на дощ. Дін зараз буде їхати з Каркошиком. Каркошик сьогодні тупо топ. Я в шокові.
It was not enough to overturn that incomplete from the first run, and Oliver Evans gets the win, and he's in the final.
Yep, Oliver Evans is in the final against Peter Fiancek. Classic Driftmaster scenario, and James Dean bows out. Will go up against Karkoshik in the third and fourth place playoff. So James Dean can still get on the podium. Karkoshik can still get on the podium in that third step. And then it will be James Dean now heading to the pits, obviously getting the car prepped and ready for this battle with Davide Karkoshik. And I'm sure there's some boffins behind the scenes. They're going to calculate where James Dean is heading in the championship order, because remember, in third position in the championship going into this round was Conor Shanahan. He got knocked out before the top 32. Now James Dean has a shot at fourth or third. So I'm sure we're going to find out where exactly we are. We know Viansek's won the championship. We know Jack Shanahan has secured second place. But can Dean creep into third ahead of Conor Shanahan? I'm sure I'll get it in my ear in the next little while. I'm sure this calculator is being steamed up right now.
Oh, they're on fire.
To figure that one. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The man we all want to hear from tonight is Oliver Evans, and he is with Becky right now.
Oliver, I'm looking at you right now, and there's a look of disbelief on your face. Can you believe you are in the final here at round 6 of the Driftmasters European Championship?
No. Definitely not.
Питаються, чи ти можеш повірити, що ти в фіналі чемпіонату. І він каже, ні, я не можу повірити.
Yeah, just to make it this far and somehow the car has survived and yeah, I don't know who.
Коротше, каже, що він чудом попав. Мені пофіг.
We're just on tour, me and my old man, Scotty, Ben, Chris, mate, we're just like Old Spice. Old Spice is getting about on this bike here. Don't even care, this is just a bonus. We're in bonus time now.
Каже, ми в бонус таймі і вже нічого не має значення. Ну, чувак, як мінімум, другий. Бути другим в такому місці, то круто.
You know, happy that Piotr's won the championship and everything, you know, like he's just an absolute machine, so to get to drive with him now, driving with Dean, like, I knew I could follow him in as well, and it's just, yeah, it's just madness driving with this caliber of driving, you know, so...
Каже, що дич їздити з такими топовими чуваками, з Венциком, який виграв чемпіонат, і з Діном, який топовий дріфтер. Каже, що круто їздити з такими топовими типами.
He's a confident man, but he's a respectful man at the same time, and again, having a couple of jokes with James Dean, and that's what it's about behind the scenes, trying to lighten the mood a little bit, because the pressure is real, and James Dean will go to that 3rd and 4th place playoff against Karkoshik. I can see across from my window that Karkoshik is ready, but Dean getting a few minutes just to take a moment, and he's doing a little vlog at the moment, just reminding you, watch James Dean's YouTube channel and find out what he's saying.
Дін влог записує.
I have absolutely no idea what's happened for the last while, and it's been a stressful day for these guys as they fuel the car and prepare it for another battle. Dean's not going to get a whole lot of rest here as he goes back out against Karkoshik. Can't make the same mistake again. Can't go into that
Там
first
потім
wall and throw it away.
репостнув,
But he's going to learn from that. He's
хто
gonna
там
grow
в
from that,
чемпіонаті,
and he wants to get the last trophy on that
на якому
podium.
місці.
Karkoshik, though, well, he's
Цікаво,
having one of
скільки,
those
як там
nights
по балах.
where everything is just going right.
Чи залетить Дін на тумбу.
He thought the weekend was over in practice a day ago.
Він був якийсь там п'ятий
Everything seems to be in place. Everything
в
seems to be
списку.
working out for David Karkoshik. He's sitting in that tunnel thinking, well, here I am. I'm going to face James Dean in the 3rd and 4th place playoff for the final step on the podium at the final round. And I'm going to watch one of my best friends take on the Rookie of the Year, Oliver Evans, for the top step of the podium. Who could have thought it? Who could have wrote it? Who would have even have known at the beginning of this weekend what this championship, what this event, what this round was going to throw up?
I'm running out of vocabulary to try and describe what we've seen tonight. And again, if you're a drift fan, this is drama. This is the pinnacle. This is what sport at this level brings. I've been saying it all night.
Yep.
We ain't in Kansas anymore. We're in a stadium in Poland. What did you think was going to happen?
Нас дивляться в Чернігові.
Did you think this
То
was going to go as
страшне.
normal? We didn't know the rain was coming,
Якісь
but
скажені
it sort of
мексиканці.
decided the championship for us. And it's not, you know, of course we'd love dry conditions and smoke and all that good stuff, but you can't predict the weather. You can't predict it in any motorsport. It's who deals with it, who can get through it, who can see all the adversity in front of them and survive. And I think one of the big things I've learned from this championship, it's not how you win, but it's also how you lose. And a lot of those drivers down there who are devastated they didn't get the results, how do they deal with that? How do they regroup, refocus and come back stronger when they were that close to success? And a lot of times this year you could imagine Oliver Evans, David Karkoshik going away from an event where they haven't had a good weekend and said, you know what, I'm going to pack it in, I'm not good enough at this level, it's not going to work. And then you get to the hardest event in the history of the sport and they're in the top 4. So it shows that it's not about winning every weekend, it's not about being the best every weekend, it's about your belief and your consistency and staying at it when it feels like everything's falling apart around you. And Oliver Evans came here this year and, as you said, felt he wasn't up to scratch. He's about to go into the final in front of the biggest event in Europe against the champion. Well, that's belief, and that's what happens in drifting. You stay going, you stay motivated, you stay in your lane, and it happens. It might happen today or tomorrow, but it will happen. And Oliver Evans gets the opportunity of a lifetime in that final. But now, Karkoshik and Dean also get a big opportunity. They didn't go through all of those S15 taillights and headlights to not take home a trophy here, and they are ready for this one.
Кажуть, полишали задні і передні фари як трофеї тут.
Looks at him as he smokes the tyres on the back of his S15 and says, are you ready?
Now let me do my little tail of the tape. James Dean, in my opinion, has all of the experience and he's been driving a little bit over the edge tonight, had the bigger mistakes. Karkoshik playing it safe and getting through the battles. You know what? Who's going to win?
Кажуть, що Дін має дуже великий досвід, а Каркошику сьогодні дико щастить. То від мене, я від себе добавив. Ого, то що, Діма і Люк? Ні. І Люк, до речі, їде на Олімпійські ігри. Як там? FIA Motorsport Games.
And right now we are going to see something we've seen before. It's Karkoshik versus Dean for third step on the podium. Two almost identical machines again head to head in difficult conditions. The lights are
Та
on. The
дві
full
дуже
lights are on
схожі
in the
машини.
stadium. Everybody's pumped. Everybody's hyped. Nobody cares about the weather. It's
Дві
about the
п'ятнашки.
trophies. It's about being
Кажуть, що
the best.
ніхто не переживає за погоду, але всі вже там бухові, походу. Тому їм просто пофіг.
It's already tense. It's been tense since qualifying, Dave, and it's going to get even more intense now. They sit on the line, they get told to look for the light, they're ready to go. Karkoshik starts to
Каркошик скорше стартує.
This is it. This is for the final step on the podium. This could be the last.
Ну що, Каркошик буде пресувати Діна? Пресує Діна Каркошик, дивися близько. Їде Діно у двері по вузькій прямі колеса в Каркошика, але він щось там клачає і їде. Перекладка синхронна 2. Знову ж таки мільйон коректировок, клачів в малому куті. Тачка так тріпається, просто капець. 1001 коректировка. Вирівнявся через прямі колеса, переклався за Діном. Ну, пресує Діна отут вже в великому куті, близько. Ну, пресинг відчувався, скажімо так.
It's dry on the bottom of the bank. So when they transition, they're transitioning through grip into complete ice. This is now the most difficult this track has been all night. You can see Dean just warming and testing as he's trying to go back to the line. But you can start to see the tarmac, the dry tarmac through the rain. Out on the edge of the bank, absolutely like ice. In the middle, there's a dry line. And you can see Dean, when he crosses it a few times, he doesn't expect to have the grip that he does.
Каркошик близько.
Yeah, and that plays in a major factor into that lead run, because that wasn't the lead run the judges are going to be looking for. Now, if Karkoshik can lay down a cleaner lead line.
You can see it there. Watch the middle of the track.
I paused for a moment there because I'm looking at the track. I'm looking exactly where Dean's wheels
Look
are
where
heading.
Karkoshik is. That's why he's wobbling, because he's in the dry line and he doesn't understand why the car isn't drifting. Watch. The car
Мені
is
здається,
drifting
що
like in the
Дін
wet.
буде
Then he comes
третій.
through the wet here. Watch Karkoshik comes through all the wet. It's impossible to know.
Oh, he's
Yeah, he straightens
almost
up badly there. And Dean is the same. Watch, he comes through the dry line. He has no grip. Then he gets grip, and then he washes out wildly at the end and has to
О,
hold
Дімки
it. So
здивольно.
it's very difficult to drive when you have no idea of the grip levels. Full wet, full dry, fine, but drivers will always tell you when it's patchy, it's almost next to impossible. They get around.
Та кажуть, що помінялося покриття. Місцями мокре, місцями сухе і вафли.
Well, here we go. It's going to be a big factor right now. They're off the line. Dean to chase down Karkoshik. The final run for the third and fourth place playoff, we believe, at the moment, as they fire in and look at the
Каркошик, подвійна постановка. Дін пресує Каркошика близько, не відпускає на перекладці. Синхронна перекладка прямо в двері. Дін пресує Каркошика і їде широко в великому куті, в більшому, ніж їхав Каркошик. Дін перекладається на випередження і ниряє прямо Каркошику в базу. Їде близько, тре Каркошика колесом і закінчує цей проїзд. Ну що, Дін третій, Каркошик четвертий, що для нього, я вважаю, прекрасне досягнення. Лишилися там Венцик і той Еванс.
Got away. Watch Karkoshik hits that dry line. It doesn't wash the way he wants it. Has to wobble. Now there is one big hit from Dean on the door. He's coming up a little bit from Karkoshik, which Karkoshik does well to deal with. Now watch Dean here. Very aggressive flick before the lead car and gets in. And as they come back, this is the moment. Watch Dean fires in. Is there contact here? It looked to me that there was maybe contact. I think he actually controls it well and stays in it. Is there contact? Oh, it's millimeters from James Dean.
Perfection.
That's incredible. in these conditions, in varying grip levels, how can you pull that off? And watch this, early transition, thought he was going to get caught, but he uses it to slingshot the car up onto the door. He figured out that's the cleverest way to get close, and that was an incredible battle for third step on the podium. One of these drivers is going to take home the third place trophy. And I'll tell you one thing, either driver deserves it on a light like tonight, but who's going to take it? It's going to be James Dean.
Джеймс Дін, третє місце. Ну, читалось.
A solid finish to the year for him. Takes home a trophy under increased pressure. The Irish fans get some reward tonight from James Dean. But it's going to be the Polish and the Welsh fans that are going to be screaming the loudest as we head towards the final. James Dean gets his third step on the podium. I mean, it was moments like that. The risk, the millimeters, the perfection. That's what did it.
That's what did it, Dave, and that's what makes it work. James Dean went that extra mile. He pushed harder. He transitioned before. He pushed that car to the limit, and he was dangerous with it, but he pulled it off because that's the.
Вже розминку Вянцика показують.
Forget all that. This is it. The
Давайте
underdog
закривайте цю
versus the
багадільню.
champion. It all comes down to this. Evans, Wiańczek, one more battle before we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head to the final. After a night that you
Ярко
wouldn't
треш на
believe, we
рекламі.
wrote it down and sent it to you as a fiction. You're watching fact.
Що приємно.
Dreams come true. Oliver Evans, ex-UK champion, Drift Masters rookie, goes up against your current reigning and defending champion, Peter Wiańczek, in front of a sellout arena in Poland. Evans, we heard him in the interview, absolutely nothing to lose. He's beaten James Dean. Could Oliver Evans beat Dean and Wiańczek in one night?
Питаю, чи зможе Еванс побити Діма і Вянцика. Чувак на приколі. Тупо от видно, що він їде собі по приколу. Бо Вянцик там контракти, робота, а той рже. Круто. Погнали, останній проїзд того чемпіонату. От это поворот.
Oliver Evans puts one hand on the biggest trophy in the game, the finale of Drift Masters. I'm going to need to take a breath. Oliver Evans could win the biggest European drift event in history.
Оце так Олівер Еванс. Еванс в шокові. Кажеш, там та машина зібрана з 4.
Evans is going to take the win, and I'll tell you one thing, he came into this about 1,000 to 1 to be in this position. So if you think
Якщо Вянцика визнають винним, то Еванс буде переможцем цього етапу.
Wiańczek goes wide. Look at this. Evans is on the brakes.
He's gone. Wiańczek's gone when he comes into that corner. It's again same thing as James Dean, same thing as Jack Shannon. He went in too hot. He's over 90 degrees.
And Evans has nowhere to go. And the reason Evans slips up to the wall is because he's on the brakes. Look, on the brakes, bam, hits the wall. There's nowhere for Evans to go. He's trying to avoid contact with Peter Wiańczek.
And Evans has been in the wall twice tonight in the same area.
Еванс 2 рази в тому самому місці заїхав в бетон через те, що той, хто їхав першим, їхав погано.
I mean, he's off throttle at this point because the wheels aren't spinning, you know, under power. They're just rotating under momentum.
Is Peter Wiańczek going to win the championship and then in the final spin out against Oliver Evans? Is this really happening?
Is this? I mean, look, alternative angle once again. Look at the rear wheels. Starts to apply the power, then gets out of the power because he knows he's spinning.
No, I don't think Evans is locked up at this stage.
Yeah,
Evans is fully locked up,
and he skates the car on the wet rubber up into the wall.
Ну що ви там в чаті?
So I don't know. Look at this. Evans is like, I don't even know. A minute ago I was kick flipping the car through the sky. Peter Vincek's got a smile on his face. He's saying, well, whatever happens, I've won the championship. And Vincek's like, I'm sorry this had to happen to you.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I've just received word in my ear. The battle is done because Evans can't compete in the second half. It's going to come down to who is at fault. The decision is going to be made of who has won the final round. One of these men has already won the championship, but Peter Vincek or Oliver Evans, one will be deemed at fault. The judges have decided, they've deliberated over it, and one of these guys is going to win the final of probably the most difficult and challenging event of all time. Who's it going to be? It's Oliver Evans!
Оливер Еванс виграє останній етап Drift Masters. Просто стоячи. Чувак за один вечір побив Джеймса Діна і Пьотера Венцека. Ну що, я дуже радий, що ми з вами провели на цьому каналі цей сезон. Всім дякую за увагу. Підписуйтеся на цей канал. І я надіюся, будемо ще тут якісь трансляції робити. Коротше, всім дякую, я вас якби люблю. Все, добраніч. Пішли спати.